Welcome everybody to the World of Dragons podcast, the podcast where 2.5 dragons get together to discover, review, and discuss dragon-related content and media, including books, TV shows, video games, and so on. I am your host. I always screw up at the beginning because I'm like, I can't say I'm your host. There's more than one host. I am one of your hosts, Ray. With me, as always, is Bantam.
Hey, what's up?
Dilitan is being sleepy and not here, so we have a guest star with us today. This is... Do you want to go by Nomad?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay. Whatever you feel comfortable going by.
Yeah.
He is a longtime World of Warcraft player. We've played with him a couple times, and we thought he could sit in with us since we are doing the World of Warcraft Dragonflight expansion today.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good expansion.
It is. All right, so we'll get into it, but like I only ever really played, I think, during the beginning of Cataclysm, and I haven't played World of Warcraft since. And this expansion is beautiful, but
I've been major on and off. I first got in just before Cataclysm, because I remember when Cataclysm launched, I was so confused, like, wait, why is there this big giant gorge in the middle of the Barrens now? What the heck is going on? But then I played a little bit then I stopped playing for a long time. Then I got back into it when Worlds of Draenor came out because I wanted a stronghold because that sounded like fun. I spent most of my time after getting max level there just running dungeons by myself to try to get all the old mounts, like the Onyxia mount, the Deathwing mount, so on.
Anzu.
But then, yeah, Anzu, all of them. Never got any of them because freaking drop rates.
Yeah.
Stopped playing for like 4 years. I missed 2 complete expansions, but then Dragonflight was announced. I was like, "Ooh, dragons!" Yes.
When they announced Dragonflight, a lot of the memes were, "Oh God, we're losing money. What do we do?" And someone goes over with a hammer and smashes like a fire extinguisher box, but inside it says "dragons." Maybe.
It sort of worked. It got a lot of people back in.
Well, so the dragons got people in. But the other thing that helped was, so I'm not a long-time World of Warcraft player, but I do talk to Nomad a lot. I do vent to him a lot about the shit that pisses me off about the game. But
and Nomad tries really hard to defend it.
You know what? It's fair because
yes and no.
I speak out of anger a lot. Like I just get salty and then I just gotta. But from what I understand, this is the least. The least grindy, the most valuing of your time that World of Warcraft's ever been.
Very much so.
The thing is that, look, I've actually gone through a lot of the old X-Packs. I actually finished Legion. I finished Shadowlands. I finished a good chunk of Legion. No, not Legion. What's the one with the Iron Horde?
Legion.
Is that Legion?
I think.
I thought Legion was the demons.
So when you mean the Iron Horde...
Burning Crusade is the demons.
So like with a horde made of iron?
It's the one with the... I guess it is still Draenor. Not Draenor. Yeah, Draenor. The one where you first show up and you're trapped in a gladiator arena and you have to kill 100 enemies, but you kill 99 and Khazgar is like, let's get out of here. And you end up seeing like all these like super badass orcs. Like one's got a giant... Whatever, it doesn't matter.
I think you're talking about the alternate history where Gul'dan says, like, hey, the Horde never descended into whatever.
That is the Warlords of Draenor.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I did about half of that before I got bored. But the thing is that you can see where a lot of the game is like, no, I own your soul now. If you want anything good, you're going to have to rep grind for it. And yes, there is still a rep grind in this game, but I'm already like kind of halfway there with all of them, and it's like I'm taking my time. If I were to sit there and grind, which I did for one of them, but it just seems like a better value for your money with Dragonflight than the previous expansions would have been.
From Legion to Battle of Azeroth, it was a case of there was too much to do. It very much catered towards the harder core audience, which some people liked it because if they are the hardcore people, I mean, it was even when we raided in the first week, it's like we had a hunter who was item level 381. And it's just like, how in God's name did you get that so quickly? But it's like, turns out he's been playing for the last 60 hours. So it's like, whereas I had only been playing for 5.
So literally Cartman from Make Love Not Warcraft.
Pretty much that was the game from Legion Battle of Azeroth. In Shadowlands, they sort of toned it down a little bit. There was still a bit too much to kind of do every day, but I felt like it was reaching a balance. But very much in Dragonflight, there's like, for instance, the world quests that you're doing, how they literally respawn 2 times a week.
Yeah.
In Shadowlands, there would be a new one that would pop up every 4 hours.
Yep.
And they would all be around for 2 days. But it's like, if you wanted to, every day you could clear out the map of world quests and then come back tomorrow and then do it all over again. In Dragonflight, that's not the case.
Yeah, my map right now in Dragonflight is almost empty. The only ones I haven't done are the ones that just give gold rewards.
Gotta do gold.
Or anything that has to do with the Tuskar, because I hate fishing.
I hate the Tuskar.
But the feast, you need the feast.
No, I did do the feast.
It's fun. It's fishing. It's cooking.
The feast is kind of nice once you've done it a couple times, and when the chef yells, "Go get me," orca milk or whale blubber, and you know where to go. But the very first time you're doing it, and he's like, "Go get me this thing from someone," and you're like, yes, chef," and then
you have Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen flashbacks, and you just go, "Yes, chef."
Yes, chef.
And you just run. It's like, where the hell am I going? I don't know. It's like, come on, you idiot.
Yeah, and then random monsters will pop up out of the water to attack your soup, and it's really fun. Because I actually
I haven't done one at all, so it's like I don't know.
It's pretty fun. It's fun
is.
when the game isn't lagging to the point of crashing because of how many people are there.
Yeah.
But I did a little bit of I finished Ardenweald, and I finished the entire main campaign for Shadowlands. Like, I didn't touch any of the other 3 zones because Bastion is like the angelic area, and I just don't like that aesthetic. Diablo levels of heaven.
I thought it's cool. I also really love Tyrael from Diablo, so that's probably part of it.
Maldraxxus can fuck right off. That whole zone looks gross. And Rivendreth I don't like because I don't like vampires. I don't like prissy. You don't
like Castlevania?
I like Castlevania, but I just don't like how just dumb the fucking vampires are with the way they walk, the way they hold themselves, like all like.
I mean, that was fun. The only vampire I did not like was the Mad Duke, just because I am sick and tired of the crazy archetype.
I bet you loved Darnassus though.
I'm so bad with names. You're gonna have to.
Basically, I just screwed up his name actually as well. I just know him as Big Daddy D. But he was the first raid. He was the first raid boss in Shadowlands, or the main raid bad guy.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's
not
ringing any bells, I'm sorry.
But I will say that from I've played enough surface level content. Like, I've spread myself over everything that I've missed out on. That I now start to understand the memes, and when you can understand memes, you've made it. And
you've been sucked in.
It helps. It all helps.
Yeah. So when you start Dragonflight and everyone calls you adventurer or champion or whatever, and people are like, I get in PTSD. I'm expecting them to call me Maw Walker, because the Maw was the worst, absolute worst. Everybody hated the Maw.
So I was one of the defenders of the Maw, because in World of Warcraft there had never ever been a place that is like so dangerous to be in that it literally, the place itself kills you.
Yeah.
And so that at least added on a gameplay level a little bit of danger. It's like, so when you go into the Maw, you're dreading it because, it's like, I'm probably going to die a lot. This is going to be hard and painful.
Yeah, it was like, if you did enough content in the Maw, you would increase the Jailer's Eye, which would start spawning more enemies that only you could see and would like hunt you down. And you couldn't mount, so you had to run around unless you killed an enemy that had a mount, and you could steal his mount for a little bit.
Or you were a druid.
Or you were a druid. And once you advanced the campaign enough to kill the Jailer's Eye, you then freed up the place to equip your mount, because whenever you try to mount up, it would say, your mount's too afraid, it won't come out. And it's like, what?
Yep.
My mount is an undead horse. The fuck you talking about?
So to pull in other expansions, if you played a little bit of Legion, you know how Odin is missing his eye?
Yeah.
That is the eye of the jailer that was stolen
Really?
from... Yeah, it was stolen from Odin. That's why it was kind of all-powerful, all-strong, and can literally see anything.
Yeah. I did the entirety of Legion up until you get to the final zone and you're pushing toward the giant citadel or whatever.
Yep.
But I did that because, and this is what I mean by, like, I feel like World of Warcraft didn't respect your time very much back in the day, because I really wanted... I'm a hunter. I'm a Beastmaster hunter. And Beastmaster hunters, you can go get these books, and when you read these books, they let you tame certain pets. And I am a pet collector. I am obsessed with it. And so I'm trying to get some of these books, and one of the books allowed you to tame feathermanes, which are basically griffins and, you know, catbirds and whatever.
They main the feathers.
Yeah. And the problem is that book is locked behind completing the Hunter campaign, which runs in tandem to the Legion campaign. And it's time gated. Once you get to a certain point, you get these heroes that you have to send off on basically what people say is Facebook game adventures, where you just slot them into a thing and hit go and then wait 8 hours to see if they succeeded.
It was one of the features they took out for Dragonflight, which I actually slightly miss.
So I watched some videos. I did a lot of prep for this episode, actually, because I watched a lot of videos on what's changed, you know, like there's just the game in general. And one of the videos I think was top 10 game systems that everyone hated. And even the YouTuber himself kind of agrees with you. He says he liked the mission boards and the command boards, but he said that in Legion it was incredibly awful to you because they only allowed you to have X amount of heroes. So
you had the possibility of obtaining 10 different heroes for the mission table.
Yeah, but it
would only allow you to have 6 active at any point in time.
And that's if you finish the research station that let you have that 6th.
Correct.
And on top of that, like, getting them levels was a pain in the ass. But at any rate, I managed to finish it, and I got my book. And as soon as I got my book, I was like, yep, Legion can fuck right off.
I will say that I liked the command tables also. The first one was in Village of Draenor, and I thought that was fun. And the reason I like it so much is because it's very reminiscent of mobile gameplay that I enjoy. Where like you log in, you send your guys out, and then 4 hours of nothing, and like I can go do whatever. It's like I've played several mobile games that kind of function like that, and it's just fun.
And here was the kicker with Shadowlands, is that because you actually had so many different heroes. And, like, I think you get up to anywhere between, like, 27 or 32, somewhere around there. Here was the extra good bit that why I liked it, is that they had mission tables of all sorts of rewards as well. That's where you can get mounts, money, just, like, reagents for mining, herbing, enchanting, whatnot.
Yeah.
But then they eventually came out with, like, I don't remember when it came out, but they came out with an app that can literally let you then play that mobile function on your phone while it's doing it actually in the game.
Nice.
So it then relegates it to your mobile phone. So yeah, it's when you go to the bathroom, you go like, oh, let's check out the command table. It's like, oh, cool, that mission's done.
I'm gonna play my tabbies.
Exactly. And it's why Clash of Clans exists, and it's why they make all the money.
Oh god.
It's just that little thing of just like, it makes it easy to where it's not like it didn't become a World of Warcraft game anymore. It's like, oh no, this was a ancillary thing that got me mats, gold, and just other stuff while I'm doing it on my phone, just because it was so easy.
Yeah, I did the same thing back in Assassin's Creed Black Flag when they first introduced cell phone connectivity, because you'd send your little fleet of ships out to go blow up other ships, and you could do that on your phone.
Exactly, and that's what they did, and that's why I loved it in Shadowlands, because I was getting real in-game gold and real in-game stuff that I would then use.
Yeah, apparently the reason why they nerfed the living crap out of the command table for Legion was because people were getting ungodly amounts of gold and equipment, like raid-level equipment from the command table in the previous expansion, because there was no limit. You could have, like, 100 heroes or whatever, and you could just send them all off on. He showed a video where someone logged in and had like 80 missions completed and just accepted all and got like hundreds of thousands of gold. So they needed to immediately cripple that.
So that's one of the things I always have a problem with Blizzard is that like they actually built all that not thinking someone would actually get that far, and then when someone gets that far, it's like, what do you mean it's broken?
They don't understand. They don't understand MMO gamers.
No, it's not all MMO gamers. There are some. I guess I'm going to call them bad seeds. There's some bad seeds in every game, but for some reason, World of Warcraft just attracts all the fucking no-lifers.
It's, well, I mean, the whole point of the game is to keep you on. I mean, they do things that reward you by keeping you on.
I mean, yeah, a lot of games try to pretend they're the only game that you'll play, but I feel like even amongst that, just more per capita, more players in World of Warcraft are the no-lifers who are going to just... No, just I don't even know. Just play nothing else and just destroy everything.
Like here's a tiny little. There's a lot of little things in the background that kind of lend to that. But like one of the ones that comes to mind that I was thinking about the other day was I saw a Reddit post where someone was complaining that they finally decided to try Dragonflight when they logged in. All their character names had been garbled, and they didn't understand. And someone says, well, if you leave your account inactive long enough, if someone else wants your name, it will forcibly change your name so that they can have it because they want it. They're subscribed. You're not. And in Final Fantasy...
I mean, that's kind of fair, though.
It's 100% fair.
It is. But in Final Fantasy, you know, when Ray was playing a Johnny and...
yeah, I was. My character was a Johnny Goldmane.
But
Excellent.
So the thing was that when he made the character and he was changing his name, he tried a Johnny Gold because in Final Fantasy you have a first and last name. And so he tried a Johnny Goldmane and it said it had been taken. So we did a Johnny Gold dash main, and that
underscore,
was no, and it wasn't an underscore. It was a dash.
It was something. Anyway.
But that one was not taken. So I played as his brother Jazal Goldmane, and one time I got curious. I'm like, I wonder, you know, because you can look up, just like with WoW Armory, you can look up who has, you know, what names or whatever. And the person was name sitting a Johnny Goldmane. He was like a level 1 character. He was a level 1 human character, and with no equipment, and it made me so mad.
It's because they were the subscriber and you weren't.
Well,
they weren't subscribed.
No. We were subscribed. The point is Final Fantasy absolutely. Once you claim that name, that's your name forever until you delete the character.
I get it to where they actually want to contribute it towards the people who are spending the money that will actually want to, like, oh, it's like some dude who made his account 5 years ago who isn't playing the game has a Johnny Goldmane. It's like, yeah, sure, we will release a Johnny Goldmane so that someone who is paying money now will have a better namesake. Yeah, because not some moron from 5 years ago took a Johnny and went, oh, I play Magic too.
I think they mostly do it because they want people to see that he's sitting there as level 1, whatever, and they're like, hey, dude, can I have the name? Like, yeah, sure, $50.
Yeah.
Yep.
So real quick, for those who have never played World of Warcraft,
I was going to say, these tangents are getting out of control. We're completely skipping the format.
Yeah. So for those who have never played World of Warcraft, if I were to boil it down into the simplest terms, there is the Alliance and there is the Horde, and they are eternally locked in conflict across every expansion. Alliance and Horde usually have different goals, which usually culminate toward the end of the expansion of them realizing, hey, why don't we put aside our differences and kill this thing? And then the next expansion, it goes back to the status quo. Fuck the Horde, fuck the Alliance, die. This is from... I don't know what public opinion is on this, but this expansion is trying to undo all that. The Horde and the Alliance have finally buried the hatchet to the point... Okay. Canonically, story-wise, they've buried the hatchet to the point where, Dragonflight, do we just start with Dragonflight? Like,
What?
I don't know. Do you want to go chronologically? Because I can.
Well, no. Okay. Well, we don't care about the massive story of World of Warcraft. We're only here to talk about Dragonflight.
I know.
We're not really going to try to explain to people listening, hey, this is the last 20 years of story of the game.
Okay.
We're more or less going to be telling them, hey, if you are interested in playing this game because there are dragons, yes or no because of XYZ.
Okay. So the beginning of the Dragonflight expansion, we're going to assume that you're going to play a Drakthir, so that the story opens up with you are frozen in stone.
Again, we don't care about the story.
I thought we do care about the story.
The story is
really.
everything.
It's
We could talk about quests.
Okay, if we want to get into like the actual story, then that should come after the spoiler break anyway.
Okay.
But in my head, I'm imagining more the gameplay itself, the mechanics. Like, how rewarding is it to play a dragon? Do you feel like you're playing a dragon, or is it like you might as well just be a human that they stuck a tail and wings on?
That's actually one of the minor complaints of the Drakthir, honestly, of just dragon riding.
Oh.
It's like, why can't I use my wings and fly?
Yeah, that's weird. So, like, the Drakthir, so you do get to play as a dragon, and you look like a dragon. The only thing is you stand on 2 legs rather than on all 4, which most other dragon games that exist out there, you tend to play a 4-legged dragon, so that's worth mentioning.
I would say you're more like a gargoyle.
No.
Yeah, gargoyles from Disney and whatnot.
Okay, Disney gargoyles, yes. It's just when you say, like, generic gargoyles, I imagine, like, slumped over walking on your knuckles kind of thing, because that's usually the position that most fantasy gargoyles have, like the Sin Eaters from Rivendreth kind of thing. That's what I imagine when you say gargoyle.
I mean,
well,
I could get into that one too, actually.
All right, so essentially, yeah, they added a new race, and this race is class locked. Drakthir can only be one class, and that is Evoker. Evoker can have 2 subclasses, one of which is Preservation, which is a healer, and Devastation, which is damage dealer.
I still say they should have had
A
at
tank
least
version?
3, but up to 4. They need a tank spec for the black Dragonflight.
Yeah.
And then I was imagining they were going to have 4 like Druid, or one of the DPS options was going to be melee.
Yeah.
So it was very much talked about because one of the other big things of World of Warcraft, there is no mail-wearing tank. There is only leather and plate.
Who the fuck is the leather tank?
Monks.
There's 2 of them, druids and monks.
Druid, yeah, I guess.
And demon hunters.
Demon hunters wear leather?
Yes.
It's weird. Leather daddies.
Yeah.
Oh my god, don't.
And it was a weird thing. It's like the community was crying out. It's like, oh, now we get to have a mail wearer that can tank. And Blizzard's like, no, you sillies.
Ha, that's what you thought.
Because they wanted it to be an ancillary class, much like how they just shoved demon hunters in. And it's like, demon hunters can either tank or damage. So it's like, you get 2 things. So they did that with the Evoker as well.
I still hold out hope that down the line we'll get that when they work out the kinks, because from what I understand, the jokes is that they smashed a box that says, "Oh my God, dragons," to raise sales, but I mean they still did have to put a lot of work, and it shows that so far from what I've seen, this is the least buggy expansion. I wasn't there for all the other expansions, but from what I've read, there were a ton of problems with almost every expansion, and aside from some lag spikes in certain areas, this game hasn't really had any issues.
Shadowlands was pretty safe. There was no massive oh my god, this wrecks the game or anything like that.
There have been a couple exploits that have gotten people banned so far in Dragonflight, though.
Yeah,
there'll always be outliers like that.
Yeah, there's exploits that have gotten people banned because the people knew they were exploiting, but the worst one was there was a crafting exploit that people weren't aware was an exploit. They were just like, oh shit, nice. And they were getting banned because...
I mean, you can kind of figure out as an exploit because it required logging out and logging back in to access it.
Alongside, it's like, wait, how is their rep already at 15? Because I don't know if you knew about that.
No.
The whole reason why it was a crafting thing is that you would switch. So it's like you begin as a blacksmith. You'd get the quest that would give you rep to do the blacksmithing quests. You can then leave blacksmithing, then be a alchemist, then get brand new quests that are just like that then give you rep and give you things. They would literally cycle through all of the secondaries just to gain the rep, and it's just like, wait, how do you have this much rep? It's like, we didn't program that into the game. How do you...
Yeah. So, as far as coming into it, I mean, the three of us have different levels of experience with World of Warcraft, but as far as my opinion, Dragonflight is probably the best that I've ever experienced in World of Warcraft.
You've experienced very little, but yeah. As far as like the dragon fantasy, so you get to play as a dragon. You don't get to wear a lot of armor. Like, you put it on, but it doesn't show up on the character. So the transmog, the glamour, the fashion, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, that pissed me off.
Is lacking a little bit, and it pisses off a lot of people like Nomad here.
Oh,
but
it pissed me off.
I don't care. I really don't care about fashion, glamour, transmog. I don't care.
So,
if I get to play a dragon, that's all I care about. I would love if they added Naga to the game so I could play as one of them, and 100% the armor wouldn't work on them because they have completely different body shapes, but I'm okay with that. I would rather have this unique species than have like the 10th flavor of human, dwarf, elf just because armor shows up on them.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. So the thing with the Drakthir is that the only two pieces of armor that show up on them when you get new armor is the shoulder pads and the belt. Everything else, when you make your character, that is what he is going to look like forever. The thing is that there were a lot of rumors when Battle for Azeroth came out or whatever, there was a little snake race called the Sethrak, and a lot of people were really hoping that was going to be the next race that we.
I think it's still the number one wants to be added race out there.
And apparently, either Nomad told me or I found out somewhere else. I don't remember, but apparently the reason they didn't do it was because they were worried people were going to complain about transmogs. And
apparently they were right.
And
that's why I'm so upset. Every time I see people on Reddit complaining about the lack of transmog, I always have to leave a comment that says, I wish people would stop bitching about this. It's not that important. And all these complaints are going to make them scared to add Sethrak, Naga,
Eric,
Tolvir, whatever. Everything with really weird and wonky body shapes.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you want the actual most wanted race was the birds.
Yeah, the Aarakocra.
Yeah, because they
no,
had...
Aarakocra's the D&D. What's it fucking called in Warcraft?
It starts with an E. Yeah.
Aarakocra, yeah.
But like they had full-fledged models. They have walking animations, damage animations. It's just like it was already in their database. All they would have to do is like now we need to come up why that they're fighting for somebody. So
I've seen several. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was gonna say I've seen several threads. People are like, "What's your most wanted race?" And like the top 5 always tend to be in varying orders. Tend to be Naga, Sethrak, Aarakocra, Tuskar, surprisingly,
and Gnolls.
And Gnolls, yeah.
Gnolls, I think, are probably the dark horse. But it's the Tuskar is that like all they did was, I mean, they already mapped it all out. It's just like they just took the Tauren skeleton
and made it little.
That's all.
They made it fat. They made it little.
So it's like they already have everything they would need. So same thing. It's like all you have to do is give them a reason of why are they fighting with the Horde or with the Alliance,
or at this point, just why are they fighting in general? You know, and it's an easy answer now because the Horde and the Alliance are both fighting for the same thing. Exploration, discovery, and helping them.
I will just always put an asterisk on that.
Yeah. Once they fully retire the Horde versus Alliance gimmick, I think it'll be a lot easier to justify bringing in other races that wouldn't want to take part in the war in the first place.
Yeah, agreed.
So it's like this has been the first time actually in a lot of the storylines where there was no greater doom other than local doom. Because almost the last 4 expansions, it was that whole, it's what I call like the Breaking Bad effect of just like they just keep the stakes keep getting higher.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put a pin in this because I got some thoughts on an MMO in general storylines because we just keep getting bigger and bigger, and I'm gonna rant about that later when we get to talk about story stuff.
I look forward to rant 30.
Yeah. But yeah. So to finish off the dragon fantasy fulfillment, besides the transmogs, I don't know, dear listener, if you care about that or not, but the thing that I do want to point out is that because the Dracthyr are locked to a specific class, a lot of their animations feel unique and very dragon.
Oh yeah.
Like you have a fire breath move where you like big inhale before you let it out, and then there's another one that has like a stomp, and then you spread your wings, and then a bunch of little stars come out. And there's a couple like strafing fire breath moves where you actually will move from point A to point B while you just breathe down on everything beneath you. So because of that, it helps with the class and race fantasy, I feel like.
Yeah, it really does, because like every other class in the game, when you cast a magic spell, they just kind of wave their hands around. With the Dracthyr...
When you were raiding the other day, I saw a druid saying next to you that just was doing the same animation over and over and over. So I'm like, he's just putting rejuvenation on everybody. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, and so so with the Dracthyr, yeah, as he said, like your wings, you'll spread them out flat. You'll tuck them in. You'll spread them wide open and face them toward the enemy or whatever. You have a lot of magic attacks that will actually make parts of your body glow. When you do a breath attack, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but your throat glows. I
always look at my back, so I haven't noticed.
When you use the other thing, the other charge, I don't remember what it's called, but it's the blue magic one. You have like blue runes that like light up your back, and then your wing membranes like light up. It's really fucking cool. But yeah, they really put a lot of effort into the animations for each specific attack. Whereas other classes, they just don't have that,
I'm only going to refute you just for a half second.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You need to play a Pandaren monk.
Oh, yeah, Pandarins, I've
specifically with a monk.
Yeah, I've seen
Here's the
that.
reason why. You know how they have 3 different specialties, right?
Yeah.
How they have tank, healing, and DPS. If you have a 2-handed staff and you are Brewmaster, which is the tank, they hold their staff, and if you right-click to, do that, I'm about to attack this person, they have a very specific way they hold the staff and a very specific position that they're in to attack. If you switch over to Windwalker, which is the DPS, they are then going to hold the staff also in a completely different manner. And same thing with Windwalker. It's everything about that class changes even based on your spec.
Yeah.
And it's just that is the level of detail that I wish was in this game, but it is unfortunately, yes, when you see Tauren, it's yes, they were made 15 years ago, so it's we have one casting animation, so
wave your finger.
Wave your finger. Yeah,
boogly 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 boo.
Yeah, so I now that
you just need to play a panda monk, and then you'll see the details that I'm talking about.
Yes,
I was eventually going to make one for the sake of Mistweaver, because I am on a quest to try every healer to see which one I like the best.
It's a great thing to do. I highly suggest that.
But yeah, aside from getting to play a dragon, you also can get a special dragon mount. For dragon riding, this is worth calling out because flying mounts used to work very differently in the past.
Big time.
And in the old zones, they still work the old way, but in the new zone, you basically have physics. If you start going up, you're going to lose momentum. If you go down, you're going to start diving and pick up speed, and so on and so forth. And you got a couple moves like a spiral, certain wing flaps to kind of help with your altitude gain and your momentum gaining and all that.
Yeah, the drawback is minor drawback is there is no hover. You can't mount up and just hover there.
You just got to circle.
You have to circle. So
I miss it.
I do kind of miss hovering, especially when I'm looking for something and I'm flying at 400 miles an hour across a forest, and I'm like, no, slow down.
Crash.
Yeah, but there have been a lot of really funny memes where it's a dragon about to pounce on somebody, and it says me on every quest and every NPC, no matter how far away they are. Because I've seen people, and I've done it myself, where I accept a quest, and the quest is to talk to someone 100 feet away, and I mount up, double jump, which does the
and
altitude
then dive
weight,
bomb them.
and then dive bomb them, and I'm like, why did I do that?
Because it's fun.
It's also because you have a gamer brain as well. It is in fact the fastest way to get there.
It's the same reason why when you play old Legend of Zelda games, you always roll forward instead of running.
Because rolling was just a little bit faster.
The fastest is actually sidestepping if you can get the frame perfect jumping.
And
otherwise
bomb sledding, etc.
Bomb slide if you know how to do the bomb slide, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you can't master the sidestepping in Zelda, back walking is faster than forward walking.
But just as a thing, it was people did it with normal mounts as well, and it was still quicker. than just moving, even if it was just over there. The 1.5 seconds of casting is greatly outweighed by this just, I'm going to get there. And even though you are basically doing a vertical V, you're just going up and down instead of just forward, it's still faster.
Yeah.
Back to the dragon riding, you can choose between 4 different bases for your dragon. Wyvern, they call it Drake, but it is basically dragon, the 6-limbed hexapod dragon. Proto Drake, which is really like ugly dinosaur looking almost, and then like an actual pterodon.
Yeah, the Proto Drake is so far my favorite, which I did not think would happen.
He kind of has that favorite ugly child kind of vibe to him.
Well, the reason why I like him so much is so one of the other you can completely customize the look of your dragon riding mount.
Yeah, you can change his scale color, the way his horns are. You can add bits and bobs to him.
It's almost as in depth as some character creation. Like
it's more in depth than some character creations.
Yeah, but the problem is that you have to unlock the parts. You have to get them as rare drops from dungeons or raids or reputation. But the reason I like my Proto Drake the most is because I have black scales, I have a beak, and I have hair and feathers. So it's like as close as I can get it to Bantam.
I'm writing me.
I'm writing me. You know.
Wait, why am I writing me?
Well,
fantasy.
Yeah. It's really nice to have a mount that is yours. You can customize it. You know, it's better than, you know, I've seen people who are like, I've seen posts where people like, I used to have all my flying mounts on a random favorite click button, and
now it's just
now it's this dragon. And it's like they're just sad they can't name him.
It would be fun if you could make more than one dragon and like save them as like this is set 1, set 2, set 3, and then have that on like a random shuffle.
Yeah, just shuffle.
I mean, you can't do it on a random shuffle, but you can have all 4 different versions of the drakes.
No.
Each 4.
I think he means like for me, the Proto Drake, I have it looking like a bird. But then what if I want it to look more like a dragon and I make a different aesthetic set and then I have that saved to a different, you know, so that the dragon itself, I don't have to go back to the transformation portal every single time.
Well, like I said, you would have to do it with the 4 base models.
Yeah, you can have a unique Proto Dragon, a unique Highland Drake, a unique Pterodon, but you can't have like multiple saved appearances of
the Drake,
the Proto Drake.
Correct.
Yeah. There are also a couple dragon riding racetracks slapped around the map, so you can kind of just go and fly through colored rings and just have fun with that. There's like 7 per zone, so maybe like 28. It would be my guess.
Close. You haven't gotten to the advanced ones then.
I already finished the advanced ones.
Are they the same course, just a different layout?
No,
they're a completely different layout.
Well, I mean, like, is it the same NPC with the flag?
Yes,
of course.
Okay, then there's 7 per zone. They just shift around the ring.
So yeah, they have dragon racing.
So
and
reductionist.
Yeah, but I want to point out for the dragon like that the music that plays while you're doing it is just so like How to Train Your Dragon-esque that it's like I can't think of anything else, and it got a little annoying after a while.
It's been one of the things that WoW has been great at.
Yes,
is
I
music.
get it. Well, like, it was a good song and like filled me with awe and wonder the first like 3 times I heard, but now I'm like, all right, yes, I get it. We're racing to the edge. I get it.
I don't hear it anymore.
I'm in this epic situation. I don't give a damn.
So I can speak uniquely.
Well, after you hear it like for the 100th time,
I can speak uniquely on the dragon racing because I actually got the achievement for completing all of them gold, basic and advanced.
Ooh,
so
congratulations!
I have the Isle Racer title.
What happens when they add expert?
I'll cry because some of those took me like 10 tries.
They're actually difficult.
Yeah, so basic races are just rings scattered throughout the ground. You just need to have a basic grasp of how to dragon ride. But
Superman 64.
But yeah, and then the advanced ones, they start adding obstacles and hazards, and on top of that, like, you need to be going at breakneck speed at all times.
I'm gonna email a Blizzard developer and be like, look, I got a good idea for you. Season 2 in spring, add 3 new abilities to dragon riding, a sharp turn and an aerial sidestep, and then add expert racing courses and just go nuts.
God, no.
Deja vu.
No, please, God, no.
Start air drifting.
Fucking.
I've been seen in this place before. Higher on the string.
Dragon Vu. No.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, okay, so Bantam.
Yes.
Specifically for the playing as a dragon fantasy fulfillment, scale of 0 to 10.
I will say it was a 7 to 8. Unfortunately, I gave up on being a Drakthir because I really like the aesthetic.
The class lock got him.
The class lock got me. I really, really just prefer being a Beastmaster, being able to collect pets.
It made sense lore-wise if they were frozen for 10,000 years.
That they didn't collect
like,
pets?
Well, it's
no. That they only have one
ago.
class because Priest didn't exist 10,000 years ago.
Yep, the light wasn't there.
So yeah, it makes sense, but I feel hopefully in a couple of major patches they'll start to unlock it. Like, hey, they're starting to learn
not patches, not patches. It's probably going to happen in expansions.
Like 2-year expansions, not 3-month patch cycles.
Correct.
Oh, that's gonna be a while. Okay, I guess the next 20 years of Warcraft is laid out before us.
Because even the biggest complaint they've been having since Legion is why are only, since it's been, eons, or not eons, but like...
Only Illidari can be demon hunters?
Yeah, it's just like, why can only the Illidari be demon hunters? Like, the demon hunters have been around for a long time. The Legion is no more. It's like, you can teach someone to be a demon hunter.
If I could be a Worgen demon hunter, I would have made one by now.
Exactly.
I have no interest in playing an Illidari.
Oh, trust me, I want my Tauren demon hunter. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So one other quick thing I just want to address on the Drakthir specifically is that there's another debate that goes around, which I don't really care about, but there is the ability for the Drakthir to have a visage form. And so
So all you listeners know how much I hate shape-shifting for dragons. Yeah, it's in the game.
So a lot of people...
You can ignore it if you want to, though.
You can completely ignore it, which is great. But, if any longtime World of Warcraft players will know that the main dragons have human forms.
Mortal forms.
Humanoid.
There's Abyssian, the black dragon who has a Highland Tauren form, and there's whatever. But
there's a new one. I don't know if they're new. It's the first I've seen of them, but there's one that has a Vopera visage form.
Major Domo,
yeah. Who, God, he is so cute. Anyway,
yeah, he is.
But
but you want to just pick up a little Vopera and just cuddle him because he's adorable, and then poof. He's like, I'm a dragon, right?
Yeah. And then dragon.
But when you're playing as a Drakthir, you get a mandatory story quest to pick your visage form, and the way they write the quest out makes it sound exciting, like, oh my God, I'm going to get to whatever. But when you're character creating, you've already made your visage form, and when you transform into it, congrats, you're a human with long ears.
You're a half elf.
You're a half elf. Good job. And it's like they even during the Horde side of it, at least, Abyssian tells you, he's like, I want you to picture your...
I picked my visage form because it reflects who I truly am. You should do the same with yours. I'm like, but I only have one choice.
Yeah, and it's like, God damn it. But I think they did the visage form because it doesn't really make sense for Drakthir to have a visage form. They're not really full dragons.
It was the Band-Aid solution to letting Drakthir players have their glamour. Because their visage form can have all the armor showing up.
Yeah.
Even if it forces you into dragon form when you're in combat, you can set it to automatically set you back to visage when combat ends.
Yeah.
And they try to entice you by saying 2% more hit point recovered. Yay.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people who are complaining that you can't play the entire game as a Drakthir in visage form, and it's like heresy, absolute heresy for us.
Go play the Alliance if you want that.
Yeah, like if you
if you want to play an elf, just go make a blood elf sorcerer wizard. What mage? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
But Nomad, have you made and played a Drakthir?
Of course.
All right. So same question to you then. 0 to 10. Dragon fantasy fulfillment.
5.75.
So like that's such a set number.
So it's what I would call a D-. It's enough to make me go, okay, I am playing a dragon. But just it's only because of I've been playing WoW for so long that it's just like you can play, it's nothing speaks out immediately to make me go like, I am different because I'm a dragon, or it's like I get to do different things because I'm a dragon.
But you get to be an evoker.
That's
different. That's unique.
But it doesn't scratch like the main itch. And it's like, I think one of the big things for me was the Dragonflight and dragon riding.
Yeah.
If you could soar for infinite time like the dragon riding, that would
absolutely boost mine back to a 6 at least. And then maybe even a 6.5, because then it's like I can just go and be awesome anywhere I want.
I don't know the full mechanics of why they said this, but apparently so a lot of people are complaining that when a Drakthir wants to get from point A to point B, they have a spell called Soar. And you basically summon magic, you pop yourself up really high into the air, and then you can fly for a great distance. But you can only do it...
you use the physics mechanic of dragon riding, so you'll start to lose altitude.
But you can only do it once every 3 minutes. Whereas dragon riding, you can regain vigor faster than that and get anywhere you need to be. People were like, I'm a dragon, why do I need a dragon riding mount to get anywhere? Why do I need...
Because your poor little wings get tired.
Yeah, and so a lot of people were really upset, and they were demanding to know why the Drakthir couldn't just use the dragon riding mechanics with your vigor and all that crap as your mount. Like, the Drakthir should be able to just fly on their own. And apparently Blizzard said that the reason that they didn't do it is because it would make pet battling in certain areas broken or something.
Bullshit.
It sounds like the most bullshit excuse I've ever heard. But they said that
you play a druid, right?
I have played a druid.
So they have this thing called flight form.
Yeah.
Which is a global cooldown. There's not even a 1.5 second to hold, like, oh, I have to mount up. You go, no, click, I'm a bird, I'm in the air.
Yeah,
like,
I've played a druid.
Has been around in WoW from pretty much expansion number 2 when they got flight form.
Yeah, I've been a max level druid. I'm not max level yet because I've been too busy on other classes. But a big complaint I've seen people have with druid flight form specifically is that it's unfair that druids are so good at gathering herbs and stuff because they can just instantly fly in between nodes without the 2-second channel time to resummon your mount.
I'm over it because of that.
It's like boo fucking who?
Then make a druid.
Yeah, it makes sense that druids would be the best at gathering stuff.
It's exactly what I did. It's like, oh wait, the Tauren who have a passive for herb gathering. Gathering. Yeah, they gabble. Gobble, gobble. They have a passive for herb gabbling. See, you got me. I'm gonna herb gabble all day long, damn it. So they have a passive for earth gathering. See, I'm just ruining it. They can be druids. So you have the race who are really good at herbs. That can be the class which are really good at herbs. Like, you want to tell me that was a mistake?
Apparently, we should just strip everything that makes any class or race unique, so everyone can be this equal playing field.
It's actually what they've been trying to do for the last 4 expansions, or the first 4 expansions. Each race used to be completely uniquely different, and they took that away because it was actually too strong.
Yeah, I've read that. When
they introduced the goblins, the highest rating guild liquid, or at the time they were called Motive or something like that, their entire guild were goblins because of the rocket boots.
I mean, honestly, is that really that big a deal? If you have a guild of goblins, that's kind of funny, like, in lore reasons, just like fucking guild of goblins. But I mean, like, for the average player who doesn't care about being the top 1% of raid, it's like, does it really matter?
If an entire guild switched their race of every single class that they're playing to be a different race to subvert 2 bosses...
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, the goblin boots were apparently brutally broken as far as speed running slash high end, I mean, keep in mind, Ray, that these were people who spent all day every day trying to eke out an extra 5 DPS per second,
Yeah, and just in general, I'm so sick and tired of everybody catering to the top 1%.
Yeah. And the problem is that they're the ones who spend the most money and stay logged in the most. So it's like
they bring more eyes to the product.
If you ostracize them, your game dies. That's why New World died, or whatever that stupid Amazon game is.
It's why League of Legends is dying.
League of Legends is dying for different reasons, which might have the same cause. But
it is pretty much that. The top end of the game and the top end of the players are not being serviced or treated like actually good players. They're just like, don't worry about it, we'll get to it.
Yeah. We're not going to get too much into this because this is not the League of Legends episode, but I just want to say that the reason I stopped playing League of Legends is because the games went from being 40 minutes to being 15 minutes. Everything is going so fast. It's assassins and DPS bursting mages everywhere, and it's like fucking like I liked the slow methodical gameplay, and that's gone.
Well, because
we gotta cater to the
I'll
people.
I'll write my dissertation out to you after this podcast.
Okay, we'll deal with this later.
Yep.
So
I'm gonna answer my own question real fast before we tangent way too hard. The 0-10 dragon fulfillment. I was going to say 9. It was really good for me, but Nomad had a good point, which has made me drop down to 7.5. It would be better for me if the Drakthir could be whatever class they wanted, especially like a tank. Like, if I want to play a big, beefy tank, I would like to be able to do that. If my Dragon Fantasy is I'm unkillable and no matter how many people are hitting me, I can't do that right now, sadly. So let me have a tank spec. Give me a version of Dragon that's not a twink.
Draconid?
Yeah, Draconid would be pretty cool.
Dragonids are so hot.
I want to play one of the Dragon Tars.
You want a Cultiran dragon.
Okay, so for those listening who have never played or even seen a screenshot of this, imagine the Drakthir are like 6 foot tall and kind of built like a twink, right? Now the Draconid are like 12 feet tall and they're built like a fucking brick house. They are massive. They do not have wings though. They are basically the foot soldiers for the Drakthir. They were the guardians and the protectors. They are huge and they are beefy and I love them. And yeah, it's like if we're going to get a tank spec, I hope they don't just go, okay, here, we're unlocking the ability to be this for the Drakthir. Let us play as a Draconid.
I've seen so many people, fingers crossed, Draconids are going to be the allied race that Drakthir can unlock.
So were you only just fulfilling your wishful boyfriend list?
Yes.
Okay, just want to point that out.
All right,
a lot of adjectives on how large they were.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. One last thing I want to do before we devolve into talking spoilers, storyline, and all that kind of stuff. Probably should have done this at the beginning, but the tangents got way too out of control, which is good. It means the conversation is flowing.
My bad.
It just means that my plan for order of operations was kind of screwy.
People call me Bangent. Yeah, Bangent or
Bangent.
Bangent.
See, this is why we're good friends. I do that all the time.
Yeah. So we'll start with you. Bantam.
Huh.
Without going into too much detail for the sake of time, just quickly list off what other MMOs have you played in the past? Like what is this? This is not your first MMO, so we're kind of establishing your credentials. Like you know what you're talking about when you say World of Warcraft is good or bad because you've played what in the past.
So I have played Ultima Online. I have played the original PC EverQuest. I have played EverQuest 2 on PC. I have played EverQuest Online Adventures on PS2. I've played a little bit of Eve. I wouldn't really call that experience, though. I used to play Freelancer Online, which is an MMO. I played Lord of the Rings MMO. In fact, I was even a beta tester for the game before it came out. I have played Final Fantasy XIV. I have played Final Fantasy XI, which...
You poor thing.
Yeah, that was a fucking horrible goddamn game. And I have played Earth Eternal, which... It was probably one of my...
I don't even think that should count as anything.
Such an MMO. Just because...
That's like second. That's like counting second life.
Just because I was the only player online ever. All right, in an MMO.
I would actually put Second Life as an MMO.
Then I played Second Life too.
There's a second? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Dwight Schrute made it. It's called Second Life.
All right, Bantam. Again, without going into too much detail, just so we can stay concise and not tangent off. Since you've played all of that, since that is your play history, where would you rank World of Warcraft?
World of Warcraft in general, or just Dragonflight?
Just Dragonflight, because the experience. No one cares what the experience was like 3 expansions ago, because the new players would get to experience Dragonflight now.
You can play Classic if you want.
I would put it. I would no. I would put Dragonflight as a number 2.
What is Final Fantasy the one?
Final Fantasy, because the story of Final Fantasy is so goddamn good.
Okay, so you just like Final Fantasy's story better, but gameplay-wise...
Gameplay-wise, World of Warcraft fucking destroys Final Fantasy.
Effing cat boys.
Keep in mind...
Race choices, Warcraft
Keep in mind,
Final Fantasy.
I was full on that fuck World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy forever, bro, train.
And then I finally got him to play.
Because he first tried to trick me into playing World of Warcraft
for years.
He's like, no, just make an account and you could just come with me. We'll just get mounts. We'll just do nonsense. We'll go kill random things. We're not going to really play the game. And I'm like, fine. And then Dragonflight comes out and now I'm like, I got to get home. I got to do my dailies.
I'm so proud of you.
Well, the thing is I get addicted to MMOs anyway. Like,
Same.
I played every MMO until the server shut down or the game got so fuck you that I was like, all right, I'm done.
You ready for my history?
Yeah.
Yeah.
EverQuest 1 and 2, Guild Wars 1 and 2, Dark Ages of Camelot.
I did play Guild Wars 2, sorry. And 1.
Okay, did you play 1?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. Yay, level 20. Played about 6 months of EVE Online, Dark Ages of Camelot, I think I said that. A very unknown one called I'm gonna come back to that one. But also played a tiny bit of the Star Wars one that lasted
I played that too, yeah.
Yeah, that one didn't last. I played... Oh god, there are a lot. But I can safely say that I've played 17 or 20 different MMOs.
Do you want to know?
lifetime.
Do you want to know my?
Yeah, names are hard. I understand. So, but the point is, you've played a lot of different.
Do you want to
MMOs.
know one thing that I can tell you about Guild Wars 1?
It sucks.
Watching people tear each other apart when a black die drops.
All right. So, where would you rank World of Warcraft?
Number 1.
I figured, but we have to get it on the air. You are in our circle of friends. You are the Warcraft fan.
Yeah, there are a lot of times where I have
See, I thought I was the magic nerd.
Well, okay, you're both, but like,
okay, good.
But like, there are a lot of times where I'll have a question, like I asked him today, and sometimes.
Are you looking forward to the Magic MMO?
Oh, that'd be kind of.
So they've tried, and it will never work.
I thought they were making one still, Magic Legends.
I think they are because.
Yeah. I was in the beta.
They've
at one
been
point.
trying for 15 years.
Oh, so yeah.
So it's like I don't have any faith that one is ever going to be made. Same thing with Riot. I know they say they're working on Runeterra, the MMO. It's like it's not going to happen.
I forgot. I also, as far as my list of MMOs, I also played Warhammer. Warhammer Online.
All right.
What?
It's like saying Diablo was an MMO, and it's like, oh, it's so close.
The thing is that a lot of
it has the illusion of an MMO, but it's truly not an MMO.
MMOs will sink or swim in their first year, and Warhammer Online started out the gate scraping on the ground.
City of Heroes, City of Villains, that was another one.
I never played those.
It was the precursor to all the Avengers MMOs that are trying to break the ice that are failing.
All right, Ray, what about your...
All right. Well, real fast, I'm going to... Nomad, I'll give you 3 minutes, because I know you could go on forever, so you have 3 minutes.
Okay.
What makes World of Warcraft number 1 for you? What would be the selling points that you would try to pitch to somebody else?
The absolute differences of the classes and how you play it. It's been the most enjoyable experience to be able to jump on from one class to another and how easy that is. It helps you either want to not invest all of your time into one single character, but you can actually branch it out, and the game allows for that and bends in that way. But it also then bends in the other direction to where you go, I want to focus all of my time and effort onto a singular character, and it allows for that. Then it's like, okay, good, now we have different routes for you to take. It's what I've told you before. It's just like it allows you to take a path of MMOing that you can't take a path on any other MMO. That's usually like, you are here to do endgame raids and that's it.
Yeah, I will say that personally, what would make World of Warcraft number 1 for me, is gonna make you mad.
Better fishing, I know.
No, no. It's if fuck, what was I gonna say?
Better fishing.
No. If they incorporated a Final Fantasy 14 style interface for using a controller, World of Warcraft would fucking destroy Final Fantasy immediately. The story for Final Fantasy will be leagues better, but Warcraft will be number 1.
Clearly, you have a short memory.
I hate using mouse and keyboard, and I have tried the add-ons. I have tried using Enable controller in World of Warcraft. But you're still using the hotbar on the bottom of the thing with just stupid button prompts, and it is not intuitive at all. I should be able to just plug in a controller and move around and hold a button down and press a different button to activate a spell and be able to target enemies with a flick of a trigger or something, but I can't. And nothing I have seen has made that possible. Do
you know why that won't be?
Why?
Because it's Guild Wars 2.
What do you mean?
Guild Wars 2, you only have 8 different actions, so you can map that into a joystick. That was part of their design document, where they didn't want to saddle you with 20 different abilities. World of Warcraft...
There's a reason why Final Fantasy keeps getting rid of abilities.
No, and I wish World of Warcraft would fucking do that. Do you know how many spells and abilities I have that I will never fucking use? Like,
so on one hand, I'm going to complain about how Brewmaster this time around has 1 million buttons to hit, but at the same time, I would hate the game more if all I had were 3 buttons to press.
Yeah, have you played Final Fantasy 14?
A little bit. I played it for about 3 months, and I just got bored
you don't
to
like
tears.
You don't like the DPS cycle of push A, B, then C because the game is lighting up the button to push next. Like your combo goes 1, 2, 3, and every now and then you can go 4, 5, 6 instead.
I'll have a better experience replaying Bayonetta 1. I mean, just it's why I got so bored with it. It's why I don't play Guild Wars 2, because it's like, if I'm a warrior, I have these 4 offensive abilities and these 4 defensive abilities, and it's my job to use these 4 in this conjunction and these. And it's like, so this entire fight is scripted. Got it.
Right.
And it's like, I'd rather have multiple options and multiple things. It's why I'm loving right now when they redid the entire World of Warcraft talent section, because even the talents, you guys weren't playing it yet. But the talents used to be pick 1 of 3 here, pick 1 of 3 here, and you would do that for 6 bars. It was a little too simplistic. But for first comers, it's like, oh, this isn't a daunting mass that it is now. For a longtime player like myself, it's like, oh my god, I have options, I have different specs, I have different purposes, I have different ideas. And
dude, I'm looking at my Paladin talent tree, figuring out how to Jenga it to get all the abilities I want. I'm like, it can't be done. I have to give something up.
That's the point. It's not supposed to be done. You are supposed to adjust to the environment that you're in. If you're about to face a boss, so it's going to be, it's 4 bosses instead of 1, you need to adjust your talents beyond, on the fly. You should have already prepped and know it's like, I have an AoE spec, I have a single damage spec. It's like, I actually have a 2-person damage cleave spec.
I have a spec for... You
need to adjust.
I have a spec for doing mythics with Ray, and I have a spec for when I'm on the overworld, and the only difference is I have barrage on the overworld, so that I can just go into a room, spin in a circle, and kill everything.
Exactly. But it's like, that doesn't work for everything. I'm not just going to I'm pressing A, I'm pressing B, I'm pressing A, I'm pressing B. I'm playing World of Warcraft, I'm pressing A, I'm pressing B, I'm pressing A, I'm pressing B. It's like, that's so boring.
It's funny, when we talk about boring DPS rotations, I can't help but think of Dragoon from Final Fantasy.
Yeah. I jump, 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 I jump. Hey, I did my class.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go through my list real fast, in no particular order, because I just have a really bad memory. I played EVE Online. I played Warhammer. It was either Age of Dawn, but I think Age of Reckoning. It was a Warhammer Fantasy MMO. I played Rift.
That was the name. That was the name.
Rift was pretty good because it had a very unique healer class, the Chloromancer or whatever.
And it was the four races, like 1 million classes.
Yeah,
it was great.
I played. I know I played Guild Wars 1, but I can remember nothing about it. I must have played like an hour and a half and then gave up on that one. But I played Guild Wars 2 and I hated it. I played...
Guild Wars 2 was the second MMO I ever reached max level in and was actually a god in PvP.
I would have put that to the test, but continue, Ray.
And then I think just Final Fantasy 14. I did play that Star Wars one for like a total of 5 hours maybe. I haven't played a whole lot because I didn't really get to play online games when I was growing up with my parents because they were scared of the internet.
It's a scary place.
So I only have 10 years of experience under my belt. I didn't get to play that many games.
There's so many dragons out there.
Yeah. But yeah.
What would you rate World of Warcraft Dragonflight on a scale of 1 to 10?
I kind of want to say it's tied with Final Fantasy 14 because they both do different things better. However, if I had to pick a winner, I would put World of Warcraft slightly higher. Final Fantasy is better for...
It all comes back to fishing.
It all comes back to fishing.
I loved Final Fantasy fishing.
So,
it's like, man, you just want to get on a boat and fish. I get it.
Okay, so Final Fantasy has a better crafting system. And I love crafting.
No, Matt, I am 100% on his side.
I'm gonna have to replay. I'm gonna have to replay that game and just refute this all.
No.
The only thing that they ruined crafters because they made it too easy, made it too accessible for the scrub lords out there. So now everything has tanked in price because the market is flooded with crafters, and everybody's kind of just making their own stuff now. But as far as like in World of Warcraft, when you want to craft something, I have the materials, I click the craft button, and it's done. Final Fantasy, you get like this little mini game. It's like you're boss battling against the craft. You gotta use this thing, and then you get a proc. You gotta use that thing, and oh, my durability is down, so I gotta repair it. And like, it's a bit more interesting than just push the button, get the item.
So what you're saying is when you're blacksmithing, you want to have a Mortal Kombat fight with your anvil.
Yes.
Yeah,
Jesus,
I mean that's
it all just comes back to fishing.
well. The thing is in Final Fantasy, all the richest players in the entire game were crafters. People had their gatherer character. There were people who only leveled up in a new expansion so they could immediately go back to crafting and gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing: is that like here's a neat little thing for World of Warcraft for you. There is a character out there. He is called the Pacifist, where he has gone through level 1 to max level by only crafting and picking flowers and everything like that.
It's Garfrun Totem.
I think I forgot his name, but yeah, it's some weird thing.
No, the only other thing that Final Fantasy is better at is its clarity. It is so, and when you go into a really high stress boss situation, it's so much easier to tell where you need to stand, what needs to be dodged, when you need to turn away, when you gotta change targets to the ads, when you have to tank swap. Because Final Fantasy usually has a lot of glowing bad spots on the floor. Like if the boss is gonna do this cleave cone, there's a big red danger zone on the floor while he's charging at the move before he does it. So it's real easy to know, oh, I need to move out of this. Oh, I need to mitigate this. Oh, I have to mechanic this, right? It's so much easier to tell. And so from the few high-stress situations I've been in Warcraft, whether Mythic Dungeons or the new raid that I tried or whatever, Final Fantasy is better for high-end savage content, I'm going to call it, because it is much easier to tell what needs to be done and when. It's much easier to pick up, much easier to go. It could just be the interface, it could be the graphics, I don't know, but it's so much easier to figure out what's going on. When I get nuked and I die to 10 million random damage, I can tell what happened in Final Fantasy. And Warcraft, I'm left thinking, what the heck just hit me? So,
I want you to tell me two things. Mm-hmm. Have you ever clicked on
the little tab? He's the fanboy that has to defend it.
No. So the thing is, for me, you're coming at this with ignorance. Because this is why I'm going to tell you. It's like the answers to your question were always right there in front of your face. Have you ever, in your history of playing the game, clicked a little tab called Combat Log?
No.
Okay.
Have you ever clicked the other button called the Adventure Guide?
Yes. Constantly.
Okay. In the Adventure Guide, bosses have attack names, and they tell you how the attacks they're gonna go.
Yeah,
in the Combat Log, the same names are equated to everything. Everything will tell you how much damage you took from what.
No,
at any point in time.
What he means is that in Final Fantasy, when an enemy is attacking you, it is a flash will hit your character with numbers that pop up, and you see it's visually very easy to see what hit you. It's not that he's confused what did that much damage. He wants to know where the source of damage is coming from in a split second.
Like here's a good example from the Mythic raid that we did, Mythic Dungeon, not raid, that we did just yesterday. We were in Ruby Life Pools,
okay,
and we accidentally pulled too many people.
Okay.
We pulled the weird little lightning mage, whatever his name is. That's before the final boss.
Alrighty.
The one that we now know puts a shield on himself, and if you don't break the shield, he nukes the entire raid, entire group. Okay, we know that now, but at the time it was not obvious. We accidentally pulled him. We were killing the other people that are all gathered around me. I was tanking, and him being the only ranged person was way off there, not being cleaved by all the AoE. And then all of a sudden, boom, everybody's dead, and we didn't know why.
So
what the fuck happened.
What I think Ray is asking for that would be more clear, Nomad, is that enemy should have a glowing blue shield around him, and then when we failed to pop it, it should send out a blue nova that when it hits you, you die, and then we know.
In Final Fantasy, it would. Yeah, in Final Fantasy, he would have had an emanating red ring of "oh no" around him, kind of showing this is how far his AoE is going to reach. Even if it was like 300 yards, so you cannot run out of it. The point is, you would have the emanating ring of "oh no," so you know something is coming from him, either stun him or something.
Yeah, it's not
all of World of Warcraft does require a little bit of bookkeeping. I agree to that. I think it's better for the game. I would not want the game to send out a little thing going wooey woo. I'm doing fire breath.
Well, here's okay. Now hold on.
I will agree with you that Final Fantasy handholds like you're a little baby. I agree with you because Final Fantasy has a whole lot of here's where the boss is gonna hit, and I'm gonna charge it up for 3 seconds so you can step out of the way. Oh, you better move. Oh, right. I understand Final Fantasy handholds. I get that. But the problem with World of Warcraft is that, sure, it's not handholding. You say it's good, requires some bookkeeping. Here's the other thing. We got the Deadly Boss mod.
DBM, yes.
Add-on. We got the add-on. And the mod itself tells us attack shield when she starts doing that charge-up move.
Yep.
Which means there's already handholding for Warcraft now. It's just rather than being in the base game, you have to go and hunt down a mod, which everybody assumes you have. Yeah. We have one person in our friend group who does not have DBM, and the other 2 people are like, why don't you have DBM? Get DBM. It is expected for you to have these mods, and if it's expected, it should be in the base game.
Yeah, like I don't agree with like the amount of times I've read on Reddit where people are like, oh, I'm having trouble with this, and they're like, oh, download this mod. Why do you need to mod the shit out of your game? The game, if a mod has like 50 million downloads like DBM, I think actually DBM has 70 million downloads. If it's got 70 million downloads, put it into the game. Have a toggle in the adventure guide where you can just have an NPC say, watch your step, whatever. It's like if you need to, doing mythics, if you need to put these mods in to make the game more playable, because otherwise you're going to just constantly get your shit rocked, then that's not inherent of a good game design. Yes, Final Fantasy is very handholdy, but it's playable. Anybody of any skill level can, with a little bit of practice, do endgame content, and I like that. I mean, like, I really want to kill Razageth. I really want to get the glamour for my Proto Drake, but that's not going to happen because I don't have a dedicated raid. You actually mentioned to me the other day, yesterday, which I thought was really funny, and I talked to Ray about it. You said, how have you been liking LFR, which is looking for raid? And I'm like, what? Yes. You mean like that mechanic that's been in every fucking MMO and World of Warcraft doesn't deserve to be celebrated for? Like, it's...
Do you know when LFR came out?
No.
The second expansion.
Oh, really? Since Cataclysm?
Yes.
Okay.
Wrath of Lich King.
Okay, I didn't know that. But, I mean, point being is that, like that's a core MMO thing. Like, it wasn't...
when you asked him how have you been enjoying LFR, you made it sound like it was new.
Because I was like...
Well, so, it was new to you because it wasn't released yet. Like, you didn't even have that as a button yet.
What do you mean? So it's been there since the second one, but isn't a... What?
Okay, so here's the thing. There's always going to be 3 levels of just the game. You're going to have looking for group / raid. I should say 4. The LFR, normal, heroic, and mythic. The game begins with normal. Everyone can get into normal.
Yeah.
We know that as duty finder from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I know.
Mythic rating wasn't released the same day that normal rating was released. They always stagger it they always stagger them out by weeks. Mm-hmm. LFR is not in the beginning of the game. At the beginning of when raid opens up.
Yeah, I think what he's saying is the raid that we did do yesterday
was after the first
the vault for the vault ticks. It was in the game, but you had to find a group to walk into the dungeon manually.
Because
I think just last week it was put in. Put into the.
I totally get it now.
LFR is lower difficulty than normal. So the bosses
really?
The bosses actually lose a mechanic
Oh no.
or sometimes they just straight up do
Are
less.
you saying, hold on, so if I right-click my portrait as the party and I say raid difficulty normal, and I walk in the front door, that's harder than me going into the group and saying, put me in the queue for 15 other people?
Yes.
Oh god.
Wow.
LFR is FF14.
Uh-oh.
That's actually kind of funny that is actually a different difficulty.
Man, now you can understand why I asked, how are you liking it?
Because people are still wiping like crazy to the Primalist Council.
And that should tell you the average intelligence of most of the player base. Now, they're either so lazy that they don't give two shits about how they play with other people, or they are actually just that bad. And I would honestly say probably about a third of the people there are just not there for raiding. They're in LFR to do funky stuff, or like, I just want
to get my vault tick.
Yeah, that's basically why I'm doing it.
And next time you do it, say you wipe on a boss, you'll notice you'll get a neat little buff. And you can probably thank Undertale or someone else for it. You now have you have a buff called Determination. Your damage goes up, your damage received goes down, and your healing goes up for the entire raid.
Oh.
Every single time you wipe on a boss.
Okay, next time we wipe on a boss, we have to look at that to see if that exists.
That's the Echo from Final Fantasy XIV. You suck, here's a 5% in both directions. Or 5%.
Like, you remember the Super Mario Brothers when they say, "Oh, you're clearly having difficulty. Have an invulnerable star for the entire level."
Oh God, I remember that. Yeah.
Welcome to your invulnerable star. It's called LFR.
Okay, that's funny. That's actually pretty
terrifying.
cool.
And now that's also what makes the game. Once again, it's if you want to be casual about it, just play LFR.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's
you
valid.
will get the full story experience. You will actually defeat Razakath. You will get the things that you are going to want.
Yeah.
It's just right now they're only unlocking it wing by wing.
Okay.
I don't even know if the second wing is unlocked
yet.
It's not.
Only the first wing is in LFR.
Because
I think it's because there's only 7 bosses, so it's like they used to do 4 wings, and now it's like only 3, which is actually another reason why the difference between Shadowlands and Dragonflight. So the final raid had 11 bosses.
Oof.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And I know that. I actually know that because one of the things I do to de-stress after doing Mythics with Ray is
smashing old content.
I will smash old content. I'll walk in.
So good.
I'll walk in on a Mythic 25-man raid, which would require 25 people at the top of their game, and I'll go in there by myself, and I'll just fucking one-shot everything in there because I'm level 70 in a level 35 raid. And
you may kill Jaden your bitch.
And I'll just walk up to this boss who's like, "How dare you?" And now I'll show you the true meaning of and then it dies instantly.
And pop a cap in his ass because you're a hunter.
Yeah, because I'm a hunter, and I just literally pull out a gun and go bang. And
this is my boomstick.
And then you click on the body and ding 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 of all this stuff that people spent months trying to get.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I was one of them.
I mean, I'm doing it just for transmogs because I want more appearances, but.
I do it for mount farmings, but it's still like a 1% drop, so it's like, ugh, and I can only do it once a week, ugh.
¿Por qué no los dos?
¿Por qué no los dos? To finish my previous thought, so Final Fantasy is better at crafting and at clarity, I'm going to still call it that.
Okay.
You call it hand-holding, I call it clarity. I feel like World of Warcraft should not go as far into hand-holding, but it should go a little bit into hand-holding.
Especially considering
World of Warcraft is better.
Especially considering this new expansion they have said is supposed to be the most laid back and relaxed.
And it is. Play LFR. Have fun.
Well, yeah.
Get 10 stacks of determination. Defeat Razakath.
I want to see the nope zones on the floor while the boss is charging for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Another problem with the bosses that I've had to run into as a tank is the lady in my DBM. She says mitigate because they're about to do a tank buster on me.
Yep.
And by the time I click the button, it's too late. I've been hit because she tells me like half a second before it happens. I'm like, dude, give me more warning than that.
Man, I guess you're a boomer.
In Final Fantasy, the tank busters have a 3-second cast time, so I know it's coming, and I can freaking mitigate the hell out of it.
They do kind of do that on purpose though, because there are bosses that you'll see what they're doing, and it's like, and that's kind of what the main reason I wanted to refute is that you are probably doing what most people often do. You are looking at your bars, you are looking at where you're standing.
I have to click on my abilities, so I'm looking at my bar the whole time.
Oh, Ray, tell me you are not a clicker.
Okay, so I can push 1, 2, 3, 4,
Ray.
but everything else I
am
gotta
a
click.
clicker.
Ray.
We're both clickers.
You're both click. Oh
Listen,
my god!
listen. I spent years playing Final Fantasy 14. I never had to look at my controller.
No, it's also I cannot.
Yeah, when you only
I
have a
cannot
2-button controller, God, the difficulty is so high.
I cannot put my hand into a misshapen claw to reach 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nor can I hold control and push any other number button at the same time. Sorry.
How about shift?
Shift is kind of pushing it.
I mean, you have to kind of push it.
The thing is that so this is probably going to disgust you then. I have never learned how to properly type. I am a hunt and peck typer. I have to look at the keyboard when I'm typing. So I can't just rest my hand on the keyboard and type and stare at the screen. I have to stare at the keyboard and I use my 2 index fingers. That's how I type. Sometimes my middle finger.
Oh, hold on. I lied slightly. I can hold control and push 1, 2, 3 because that's how I do mouse overcast for my heals when I play healer. I put my healing on 1, 2, 3 so I can mouse overcast with those.
I was about to say, Ray, how long are your fingers? Because I literally just measured my pinky.
They might be kind of stubby. I don't know.
It might be, and it's like do you know the distance between the 1 key and the shift key?
He's got little hands. Why are you making fun of him? Holy shit!
Oh, I'm not making fun of him. I just want to know if you know this objective data of the distance.
The random number of inches. I don't know the.
Oh, it's not random. I have a tape measure. I can take a picture for you right now. Here, you can hear the tape measure.
Yes.
Okay, so I got the actual data right here. How far do you think the center of the 1 key to the center of the shift key is?
Inch and a half.
2.5.
2 inches.
Ray, you got it spot on.
What is it?
It is 2.5 inches.
It's just not what we're used to.
And that's fine.
Hold on. If I put my hand on my keyboard toward the base of my pinky finger, so right where it becomes part of my hand, the base of my pinky finger is on the bottom of the shift key. The tip of my pinky cannot reach the number 1.
So if you go from which finger is on the 1?
Nothing's on the 1. I'm trying to just use my pinky as a measuring stick.
Okay, so right now, if you have your hand on the keyboard on WASD, what is your pinky resting on?
Q? What? Hold on, wait.
Your hands aren't that small.
No, I see. I see what you're saying. If I was playing a first-person shooter and having to use what's sad.
Yeah, if you
my pinky naturally rests on the shift key.
Wait, how do you move in World of Warcraft?
Left and right click at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
All right. So while he processes that, we should probably do our spoiler break.
All right, we're gonna give him a bit to cool down, enjoy some classic jazz tunes. When we come back, we'll talk about spoilers with storyline and stuff.
Am I being trolled right now?
No, you're literally not. I do the same thing. It's right click then left click to move. Sometimes,
and that's why it takes you 1,000,000 years to click abilities.
No. Sometimes that's when I'm moving around normally. But sometimes when I'm in dungeons, I use Wasad. But do you want to hear something else funny? Ray and I both have to lock our action bars because while we're doing dungeons, we're very often dragging abilities off our list and
because we're clicking.
Oh my God! Where did my thing go? I disappeared.
Oh my God! I lost divine shield.
I look down and I'm like, what happened to this ability? It's gone. Oh right, it dragged it off my bar. Now I gotta go find it.
I fucking hate this game. My healing abilities just disappear. What do I only have 3 charges of it for the rest of the game? God. Holy shit!
Does everything make sense now?
It kind of does.
Which is why we're struggling in Mythic.
Difficult things are difficult and easy things are easy. Now I know why. Holy shit!
You want to hear something
what
else
have I gotten
that might hurt your soul?
Go on.
So I'm tanking this boss, and the boss does an AoE around himself that you're supposed to move back out of, right?
Yeah.
I start backing up, and I don't move fast enough, moving backwards, and so I get hit by it anyway.
So when it takes you to back up, so you're telling me your left hand is holding your beer or something.
No.
And then your right hand then smashes both the mouse buttons, and then you flick your wrist to look 180 behind you, and hopefully you're going to get out of that AoE that's in the boss range.
When I have to back up, then I'll move backwards with S.
No, he's
You realize
he's saying
you realize that the S key moves you at half speed.
Yes.
That's why I get hit by it anyway.
Why do you think that's the most intelligent thing? It's like, I know, I'm going to press the button that makes me move at my slowest thing.
Because two things. If I turn away from the boss, I'm not going to be able to block, parry, or dodge. And also, if I turn away from the boss, I can't smack him because I'm not.
So one of the other learned behaviors from Final Fantasy Nomad is that, especially with the controller, you press back on the analog stick, your character automatically runs in that direction. And which means he's running at full speed in any direction that you push the analog stick. So
you're playing Zelda.
So, yeah, basically. But the point being is that your character will automatically face the direction he needs to run. And then when you use an ability, your character will automatically spin around and attack so that he's facing the enemy. So no matter what, positioning is never a problem, and it's an afterthought, because you're able to avoid mechanics while still doing damage because you just press the left stick to move.
What was that game, that first-person or third-person shooter that you were playing, Bantam, where you get to play as furry characters?
Gunfire Reborn.
Gunfire Reborn.
How did you move in that game?
I play it with a controller.
Every single shooter, you just pick up a controller.
Yes.
So you have probably actually, not ironically, never used the mouse and keyboard when it comes to a shooter.
I completely 100%. I can't.
Ray, same question?
Actually, specifically with shooters, I will use keyboard and mouse because I feel like I can aim better with the mouse.
Because you can.
No, aim assist.
Yeah.
That's not a
That's
feeling.
why aim assist is a thing.
Let me tell you this, Nomad. We talked about our experience with MMOs. I have beaten every single Call of Duty game on the hardest difficulty setting using a controller. I cannot play a shooter with a mouse and keyboard.
It's almost like Call of Duty was meant to be played with a controller.
No, I've played multiplayer.
Yes, it was.
Well, I've played multiplayer, and there are people. I can out kill people with mouse and keyboard on a controller.
Because you get the aim assist.
Not to be that guy, but man, I'm going to 1v1 your ass so hard.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
All right. Anyway, welcome back, people. Spoiler time, maybe. We'll see how deep into the story we actually get. We may keep ranting about mechanics in the game.
Well, I mean, I kind of do want to just kind of give a brief overview of what the story is.
Yeah, but I never got to finish my previous thought. Like I said, what Final Fantasy is better at doing, but Warcraft is better, and it has better race options. It has better class options. Like with Nomad, and the fact that the classes having specializations makes it so much more. There's depth to having a class, right? And also, it handles healers so much nicer.
Oh yeah.
When I play healer, I want to heal. Anybody who plays Final Fantasy XIV knows that healers are called the green DPS because you're not expected to heal. You're expected to just spam glare 10,000 times and like, I'm just gonna cast Tetramitation on this guy because he needs a spot heal, or I'm just gonna use Asylum or a size or whatever healing spell you have that is off the global cooldown. But the fact that they tell you are never allowed to cast Cure 1 or Cure 2 is disgusting, and that's not what I play healers for. So in World of Warcraft, when I heal, that's all I do. I have no damage on the damage meter. I'm not DPSing most of the time. Sometimes I'll throw a random spell or two out, depending on how good my team is at actually dodging the bads. But in general, when I heal, I heal.
You press a button and a health bar gets larger.
Yes.
Like they did in Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, and then I don't know when it changed to it's like healers are not allowed to heal anymore. They're supposed to just spam their one attack button.
It's because of Guild Wars.
That's why I hated Guild Wars, because Guild Wars didn't have a healer class. There was no healing at all in Guild Wars.
And no tanks.
Yeah, there were no classes in it.
People actually enjoyed that idea, and multiple other gaming systems looked into that and went, wow, this is actually kind of brilliant.
People enjoyed it because 90% of the population wants to play DPS. So if they don't have to worry about the tank and the healer making up the composition, then hey, we get to just do whatever the fuck we want. Herber.
And you ready for this? It's like, have you ever looked for, like, when you do looking for LFR, basically, you ever notice sometimes that the tank icon is illuminated in gold? or the healer icon is like...
It's because, hey, we need more of these guys in the queue. If you join, we'll give you a bonus goodie package.
Because your average player wants to smash and get big numbars. You don't get to do that if you're a tank or a healer.
Fucking DPS players.
Yep. And now you'll understand why when you go, oh, there is no tank, there is no healer. All of you are just big numbars, and you play the game.
I hate it. I love healing. I'm a healer at heart. So I hate it.
And it's also, once again, World of Warcraft set that as the benchmark, and pretty much all MMOs haven't really gotten close to it. Everyone tries to go away from WoW and their system, and it's just like, do you wonder why they fail?
I think what a lot of other MMOs do is they look at how World of Warcraft has been on a downward spiral, and they're like, oh, then surely it's because of the mechanics. Like, no, it's because of the company. You know, a lot of people are swearing off of anything Blizzard and stuff, and like as we mentioned in previous episodes, we're not here to condone or excuse or support or whatever. This has nothing to do with Blizzard. We're doing this because we wanted to play a dragon-centric campaign.
Yeah, the entire goal of this podcast is we're going to ignore politics as much as possible. Sometimes you can't, but the point is it's escapism. We don't want to deal with real-life politics. Is this a good escape if you enjoy dragons? Yes or no? And that's kind of what we talk about.
For that, yeah, still 5.75.
I'll admit, like, it depends on your dragon fantasy. If your dragon fantasy is a spell-slinging Master of Magic dragon, then it's probably a lot higher. But if your dragon fantasy is a big brute who can't be taken down no matter what, then no. The dragons in this game are way too fucking squishy.
It is funny watching Soren flap around as the boss. Like when you go down and the healer goes down and the boss starts charging Soren, and Soren's like, "Oh god!" and he starts.
We had to yell at Soren, like, Soren, if you draw aggro, run to the tank. Don't run away.
There was.
It's fight or flight.
It is an instinct.
It is super normal.
It's the first time he's ever played MMO, so we understand.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
we need to break that habit. We need to break that habit and get him to.
I'm not going to get into a huge tangent on this, but we did Noku Defensive Mythic level 2, and we all died, and Soren was the last one left, so Soren ran, and he
to the entrance of the raid. I'm guessing.
This was
almost.
No. So we were at the first. We died at the first boss area, right? And he ran in the direction of the second boss, like really, really far away. And we kept telling him, dude, they're not going to stop. Just die. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he dies. So he ran far enough away that by the time we landed there to get ready to pull again, the group was coming back and attacked me. And I was like, where did they come from? Oh my God. And we got killed again. And we were like, what? This group just came running out of nowhere at me from a different direction. And it was the group that had come back from killing Soren.
It's you experienced that. Remember when we had our accidental face plant in
oh my
God,
God,
first mythic I pulled you in?
Jesus.
It was pretty much that situation.
We were doing flawlessly, and then one mistake, and it led to 25 deaths.
I think the tank DC'd for like 10 seconds, which was enough for him to die because he couldn't use his mitigation. And then we all died like one at a time, but we were coming back.
Trying to get back really quick.
And it was just a revolving door of dying, trying to get back on track.
It was funny because we won.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the story for Dragonflight.
Right. So before we get into the nitty gritty of the story, I'm gonna let you go off about your story. I just want to disclaimer.
Your story.
I'm gonna let you go off, but I'm gonna disclaimer. Me personally, I do not care about MMO stories. I hate MMO stories in every game
and quests.
Because I hate questing because it's all nothing but story. I can enjoy some side quests because they're little pockets of good story. Like I enjoyed the gay dragon tars that adopted the duckling or whatever.
He has a name.
I can't remember the
name.
My
God.
I'm so bad with remembering names and everything. I'm sorry. But the point is, I hate MMO stories in general because they all boil down to, oh God, the world is ending. You're the only one who can help us, parentheses, and the 6 million other people playing. I can't take it seriously when it's supposed to, in story, all rely on me and 6 million other people. I can never take that seriously. And the other problem is the way expansions work. It's like, oh, at the end of this expansion, the planet was stabbed by a titan, which was one of the original deities who created the world. And like, where do you go from that? Apparently, you go to freaking heaven and hell. Where do you go from that? Now on an island with dragons. Like, it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger to where I stop believing in it. and it just like the jailer, which to me I understand is supposed to be the incarnation of death or the judge or something. I don't know, but you fight him in one of the raids in Shadowlands, but then you go to Dragonflight and you're getting your butt kicked by a bunch of freaking Murlocs. It's like there's so much.
He was in quests.
Well, he didn't do the quest. The point being is that
that's the irony.
The point being is you're fighting gods and then you're losing to Murlocs, and it's like I can't my suspension of belief only goes so far, and so I just can't take any storyline in MMOs seriously.
Yeah, I did legit see a meme where it was a bunch of characters like in a screenshot with no UI fighting against the jailer actually, and then it was the same character dead on the floor surrounded by 3 beetles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I can't take so seriously because of that reason, but the other thing is like I play MMOs to play dungeons. I want to go into this dungeon with my 3, 4, however many friends, depends on the group size of the MMO you're playing, to go play with them, to do my job as a healer, and to kill these big bad bosses who have mechanics you need to watch out for.
For no
reason. If I wanted to walk around on a world map by myself doing side quests, I'd go play a single player RPG.
Or the closest you'll get to that, what was Kingdoms of Amalur, is like an MMO with no other players.
Yeah, Kingdoms of Amalur, and they even had a sequel. I forgot the name of that one.
Yeah, because single player games have a much more confined story. Like you're not going to be going from fighting gods to fighting beetles, and then the story is tailored to you, and a lot of times your choices can matter. Who cares what choice you pick in these dialogue options in Warcraft and Final Fantasy? It's all going to go to the same place anyway. And it's like, I'm going to be forced to work with Sylvanas even if I fucking hate her guts because she happens to be the Horde leader at the time.
I fucking hate her.
So if I wanted a game for the story, I'd play a single player game. I play MMOs to go do dungeons with my friends, and that's all I care about. So, having said that, you two can talk about the story. I will offer some input when I feel it's relevant, but in the for most of it, I skipped a lot of the story because I stopped caring.
Okay, so anyways, disclaimer was Ray hates video games. So about the story, what do you think of, because now this is the big thing, this is, World of Warcraft very much works in thirds. What do you think of the first third?
Of Dragonflight?
Yes.
Where's the breakpoint for the first third?
Razagath.
Wait, but she's the big boss.
She's not going to be the big bad for the entire expansion, though.
You're saying because...
Do you think everything that's happening in Dragonflight
I understand.
Of Razagath?
Third 2 and third 3 is going to come later. They're not released yet. I get it. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I said. They do it in thirds. The only time that was different was Battle for Azeroth, where they did it in 2.
Yeah, my thoughts is I understand her point of view. I get it. I don't see how she's a bigger threat than Sargatanas or whoever the fuck stabbing this planet with a sword.
Sargeras.
Whoever.
Sargeras, I'm telling you.
but what he's saying is, it's how is she a bigger threat to the planet than someone who potentially could have cracked the entire planet in half.
Now, it's funny you say that, because I said this is the first time that WoW has de-escalated how powerful and how crazy the boss is, as the last person we fought was literal the Grim Reaper. An incarnation of him.
If you could stand up to the Grim Reaper, why don't you just fucking nuke her the second she shows her face in the tutorial zone of whatever the fuck?
Pretty much. That's why I said this is why it's a return to form, where it's just like, oh, we're battling a thing that's just on Azeroth, where it's not like, oh, we have to go to some realm, to some place for somewhere to stop some guy who's doing something that will eventually hurt Azeroth.
But it's not like I like her as a character. I see her point of view. I almost kind of agree with it, but I can't ever express that in game because my choices don't matter in game. But just like from a gameplay perspective, like because of what I've fought before, theoretically, Yuvoka has done none of that because he was sleeping. What I've done before in game, I don't see how she's a threat story-wise, and so I stopped caring about the story reasons why we can't just go kick her ass right now.
Because she does theoretically have the amount of power to nuke Azeroth. She just does.
So, theoretically, if you stuck her and the jailer in a room, she would win?
No, the jailer would win.
Okay, but we beat the jailer last expansion.
But once again, it's not about how much more powerful that Razagath is compared to the jailer. I'm saying that at this current point in time, Razagath has enough power to nuke Azeroth.
The other thing is that Razagath has...
Can't back into a corner. She's going to destroy
Here's
everything.
the other thing, Ray. Razagath has an entire literal fucking army. The jailer didn't. He had a couple lieutenants and some mindless demons.
Well,
he
technically had a bunch.
Well, I feel like Razagath has more of an army than the jailer did. But
I think on pure story numbers, Jailer had a bigger army because it was all of the souls that was not just from Azeroth. They were coming from multiple places.
They also had...
So it's like...
Wait, we share our afterlife with other people?
Yeah.
They also... the other thing is that it wasn't just us fighting the jailer. It was all 4 of the realms of the underworld. So it was 4 literal armies against the jailer's 1 army, whereas this is just us versus Razagath. So in that context, we would lose. But at any rate, we're not talking about jailer. So with Dragonflight, again, assuming you're playing as an evoker, you wake up from 10,000 years of sleep, whatever, to find out that basically you've forgotten everything. You break out onto your starter island, whatever. You know what? This is stupid. Never mind.
Why?
Because I don't know where I'm going with this. But
so yeah, you wake up.
Bantam tends to just talk when he doesn't know what to do.
You found out that one of the Black Dragonflight actually put everyone to sleep.
Yeah, it was Daddy Deathwing.
Yeah, and the whole point was that they were actually supposed to be working side by side. So then they woke up, realized, wait, what the hell happened? Daddy Deathwing did what? And then all of a sudden they were like, all right, we now have an incarnation of not specifically Daddy Deathwing, but basically one of his, I guess you would call it lieutenants. That is Razagath. And
wait, did Razagath work with Notharion?
So Naltharion was part of why the Proto-Drakes and the dragons exist.
Yeah.
And because of that, Razagath was then out there just able to be as all-powerful as Razagath is, but still Daddy Deathwing was much more stronger. But
I miss Deathwing.
No, you don't.
The Warcraft should have just ended with Cataclysm. He should have just won at the end.
I mean, Cataclysm Classic is going to come out and then you can play it.
No, I just mean like everything after Cataclysm doesn't exist. The game ended, the world destroyed.
This is all our collective nightmare. So yeah,
that explains Shadowlands.
There's a lot of maybe I just didn't notice it in the other expansions because I have been playing the other expansions while de-stressing or whatever, but there's a lot of like really great storytelling within it, like microcosm within Dragonflight. At one point you can meet a faction of black dragons called the World Breakers, and the World Breakers either they don't know or they don't care that Deathwing was evil. Because at one point you're doing a quest line for a little... I call it a kobold, but it's basically a baby draconid. But they look like kobolds. And he sends you on a couple quests to help him and help his family, his tribe, whatever. And when you're done and you've completed the quest and gotten the achievement for that little itty-bitty storyline, he says that now they just have to wait for their aspect to come back, their aspect being Naltharion, which is Deathwing. And
the Black Dragonflight.
And you, as the player, have an option to tell him that he is dead and you killed him. And I had to click it, even though I didn't want to. I clicked it, and he starts crying. And he's like, "No, you can't. He's an aspect. He can't just die." And then he starts to cry, and it made me, oh my God. And we'll not even talk about, I don't remember the guy's name, but it begins with a V. The guy sitting on the edge of the Ruby Life Pools. Like, some of this stuff, like, it didn't hit Ray, but it hit me like a fucking sack of bricks.
I understood why it was supposed to be sad, but I couldn't be sad because it was too over the top to like, yeah, you're trying a little too hard. Yeah, this is obvious. It's all the sad story tropes and
how is that? Like, how is that a trope?
Oh, my friend went evil and I couldn't help them, but maybe if I did a little bit more, I could have. It's like, not really.
It's not a trope, Ray, because in a trope you'd be able to absolve him or find out the answers to his questions and he'd be happy again. But you don't get that in this. You never find out the name of the person that he used to love. You never find any of that out. Even when you give him the lockbox full of keepsakes, he doesn't remember what half of them are for, and he's just sad. It's a little bit on the kicked puppy side, but at the same time, the writing was really good quality. Because
I can admit it was good quality writing, but yes, there was too much kicked puppy that I couldn't get emotionally invested in it.
But I have, so that's perfectly fine that Ray's not the type of person to do world quests. I am. I have been doing world quests and reading dialogue nonstop. It started because I wanted to do proper research for this episode, but then I just got invested in it. And so reading...
And it's almost like it's a good story or something.
I read most of the story quests, like the blogs of text when you accept the quest. I did most of those for like the side stuff. It was anything that once Razeth got involved, I stopped caring because it's like, yeah, you...
It's also because you went, hey, my nemesis, I fight you.
Yeah. Backtracking a little bit to just defend myself, I guess, a bit. Like, so, sad dwarf sitting on the ledge didn't make me feel that sad because I felt like it was a little too obvious, a little too kicked puppy, a little too whatever. What this thing that made me really sad, I can't remember, again, names. Fuck names. I can't do names. The other Jack there that went with Nozdormu and got like the vision of the past to see when they got put to sleep and whatever.
Yeah.
The little still image cinematic, which was beautifully done.
Really beautifully done.
That had more emotion to it and made me sad.
when she lifts up her wing and she's like, "Can you stop it with this sand?"
I can't see because you don't want to.
And then she just
But yeah, just seeing her point of view, the person that they've been built for, and I think they unironically loved him too. So seeing their literal father put them into a room, turn them all to stone, and then leave, and then just her point of view of the hand reaching out for him, that got me sad.
Do you know much about Nozdormu?
I know a little bit about him, not a whole lot.
So, do you know anything of what the Bronze Dragonflight are?
Yeah, they're the keepers of time, and they can turn evil and become time walkers or whatever. Eternals.
I was gonna say that's not part of their design document. What happens is that it happened to Nozdormu. Now here's where things get a little fucky, but also kind of cool about Nozdormu. He was actually a boss in a dungeon because you fight his future self.
Yeah. I know about Murazond.
Yes, so it's like he gets corrupted by other means,
which I love. I love corruption arcs. Redemption arcs are overdone. I love corruption arcs. So I love the fact that he turns into Murazond, and I hope to God Chromie turns into Eternus.
So that's kind of one of the kind of because no one really knows what's going to happen in the second, third, and the final third. I have actually proclamated that it's just like we actually might fight Nozdormu again. Because Nozdormu exists in all of time, like, he already knows exactly what's going to happen to him, and he knows when. We don't know, because he's not going to tell us. But it's actually, throughout the history of World of Warcraft, you have actually done a bunch of quests that literally breadcrumb you along Nozdormu's life and when and how he gets corrupted. Like, he's already at peace of knowing exactly when he's going to die by our hand. How fucking awesome of that as a character.
It's kind of cool. When handled right, it can be fun. Time shenanigans are really like you gotta handle this with like rubber gloves and be very careful because if you fuck it up, you ruin everything.
Yep.
And I don't mean like in world, if you fuck up time, actually you're going to destroy the world. I mean like as a writer storyline, if you don't handle time anything carefully, it's going to be like no one's going to care anymore because you ruined it. And it's like, this is stupid.
Welcome to why people hated the Shadowlands.
Yeah.
Because they hated the idea that the Lich King had a master.
Yeah, I enjoyed the thought of Arthas being the top of his own little totem pole. We didn't need somebody pulling the strings of the Lich King. That was kind of unnecessary.
I don't think it was unnecessary. Because I'll have to show you the chart. that there are the opposing 6 forces of all of the universe in World of Warcraft.
All right, guys, I'm going to Warcraft Lore Academy. I'll be back in a year.
Yep. But basically, they already have something that embodies chaos, and it wasn't the Lich King who was at the helm of that.
Anyway, back to
we're tangenting
Dragonflight
way
info.
too hard off Dragonflight.
We're bantening.
Yeah. So yeah, the
See, I told you I can do that endlessly.
the quote unquote big bad so far right now is Razageth. It's a storm proto dragon, who the only really bit of story that we got is that she was banished by Alexstrasza.
Yep.
And
No. Hold on. I understood Alexstrasza locked up the others, her siblings. She specifically was locked up by Notharian, who used Cthulhu's power, and that's why she was able to break out and not them, because she was locked in a different place. And she's going to go unlock her buddies.
It took the other infinite Dragonflight to unlock her.
Yeah. But yeah, she's trying to awaken her brood and take over.
Yep.
And so, for those unaware of the dragons of World of Warcraft, there's 6 flights technically. But there's the red flight, which is all about life. The black flight, which is all about Earth and Azeroth. The bronze flight, which is time and space. The blue flight, which is magic, and the green flight, which is the Emerald Dream, which is the silliest, stupidest thing ever.
It's also life.
It's nature.
It's a different aspect of life.
It's just
than
nature.
Red.
Yeah. And
hashtag Malaga.
yeah, and then the sixth flight, quote unquote, is the Eternals, which are the anti-time. They just want to end all time, because if everything is doomed to die or whatever.
It's kind of funny. Bronze Flight goes evil, they become something else, but like Red Flight goes evil and they stay red. Blue Flight goes evil, they stay blue.
Black Flight.
Black Flight stays black.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's only the bronze.
So there's a lot of basically the story of Dragonflight. Essentially, you as the player character are helping to restore their Oath Stones, because once all of their Oath Stones are reactivated, they can activate the Mother Oath Stone, which will restore their aspectral powers, and allow them to fight back against what's coming.
I want to just step in real fast. The Oath Stone trope is so cliche. It's like
we have to learn an important life lesson.
It has to be. No, it's the thing is, Ray, is that it has to be, or else there is no game.
Yeah, I get that. But
without this, there is no game. You have to just go like, man, why do I have to assemble the Dragon Balls?
Yeah, it's like, so as the person who is really book heavy on this podcast and loves storylines, bad writing, even if it needs to happen for the game to work, just makes me go, ugh. It's like, the Old Stone is so dumb.
It's not bad writing.
And,
It's a completely different medium. You can never compare books to a game. Same way you can't compare
it can
books
still
to
make
a
me
movie.
roll my eyes.
No, because then there's no game.
I understand it needs to be there for the game. You need to have the 5 MacGuffins to pull you from zone to zone. That's the reason why you're going from zone to zone. I get that. But it's just like, particularly with the Black Oathstone specifically, I felt like the reactivating of that was so anticlimactic. It's just like, oh, I'm just going to put it together and then stick it in and there, it's done. I feel like it would have been better if the Black Oathstone did not turn on, and it's the only one who's not on right now. Like, everyone else might to turn theirs back on, but theirs isn't until they resolve the dispute between Sibelian and Rathian and they pick someone to
I
lead.
agree with that, actually.
Because once again, what do the Black Dragonflights do?
Protect
the Earth.
They protect Azeroth. Guess what they have to do to protect Azeroth? They have to exist.
Oh.
They have to feel the weight of the Earth crushing down upon them for eons.
Do I exist on Azeroth? Yes. Bam. Oathstone is fine.
And that's why it's kind of dumb.
But it's not, though, because it's very much in character of what the Black Dragonflight are.
Yeah, the problem is that Ray is never going to budge from his stance, and you're never going to budge from yours. He's a book person, we're game people.
Yeah, and once again, disclaimer, Ray hates video games. It's just going to be hashtagged somewhere in this.
All right, so we are coming up on 2 hours, so we should probably wrap it up, but
we got 8 minutes, it's fine.
Not if you stay silent like that.
Well, I just don't. I don't know what the thing is that
well,
I
okay,
could I could make a 4-hour long episode just by myself, just talking, like going through the whole story, and it's like I don't know what to pick out of it. I don't.
Hey,
all right.
Guess what, listeners? If you want a 2-hour part 2 to this thing, let us know in email or the Discord, and we will probably do it then. But for now, just to wrap this up, both of you, and I guess me included, we're gonna pick our favorite side quest, chain, storyline, chunk, whatever you want to call it, and then give predictions for what will happen in the second and third, as Nomad said there's going to be.
I was gonna say, yeah.
All right, Bantam, you go first.
Well, my favorite actually I think is resolved. I don't think it's going to have a continuation, but I'll tell it anyway.
Right. All the side stories are already resolved.
So in the Ruby Life Pools, there is a place called the Hatchling Nursery. And when you go there, you get a quest because there's a little baby proto-drake they found, and they don't know what happened to it. And you go find it. It's injured. So you heal it, bring it back, and she goes, oh, poor baby. We still need to find an owner for him. But in the meantime, why don't you give him some self-confidence? And it's basically teaching you the battle pet mechanics. And so you take, I think his name is Nibbles, and you take him with you, and it's this tiny little baby dragon, and you have to fight a bunch of stuff and learn about battle pet taming. And when you bring him back, she's like, oh my god, look how strong and confident he is. He loves you. Why don't you keep him? And that was the end of that. And I think, honestly, that was my favorite storyline. No. You know what? No, I changed my mind. My favorite storyline was the spa in Valdras's, where
which
they
part?
Just the entire storyline of the spa, where they basically have all these hot water pools that they're using elementals, fire and water, to heat the water, and they have yoga and all this other stuff. But then the elementals start going crazy, and guests are like, "Ugh, what an inconvenience!" And so you have to go down there and rescue spa guests and kill elementals, and
it's a good one.
Yeah, my favorite side story was. It's really, really short, but it's still my favorite. It's the one with the baby, with Lily Straza and her broken plush.
Oh, my God, yes.
I hate you.
So it's so pretty. Was that what you were going to say?
Yeah.
I put that duck on my head as often as I can.
Ray was gushing the entire time we were doing the story. He was like, oh, my God, this is so precious.
Okay, so Nomad, what's your favorite side story?
Then I think I'll have to go to the trails where it's God, it is sort of the same quest again, except it's a big ass dog.
Oh God, Tyvan.
Oh, it's the one where you have to figure out.
Oh
yeah.
Jesus, that made me cry. Holy fuck.
That's what it's just like. I think that one was probably the next one.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. So yeah, there's this gigantic fucking dog the size of a horse. And you have to teach him self-confidence, too, and take him out hunting. But he cowers every single time. And so after this huge quest chain, they basically say that Tyvan is useless. And if he can't pull his weight, then he's not welcome in the camp. And this is with the centaurs. But around that same time, one of the other centaur clans went rogue and started killing people. And when you come back to camp at the finality of the quest, there's a survivor who lost both his mother and his sibling. And so he's by himself. And so he's sitting off on the side, and they say, well, Tyvan is useless, and blah, 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 blah. And then an NPC runs up and tells you about this centaur who's, like, just super depressed to the point where they've gone mute. And so they're like, well, is there anything you can do? And so you go over, and you try to talk to him, and he doesn't say anything to you. He doesn't even look at you. And then Tyvan comes over and just flops down on his lap. And, oh, my God. Because, like, that gets him to talk, so...
See, there can be good writing in this.
I don't see what the difference between that and the dragon talking about that they're all good, but whatever.
Okay, so let me get this right. Quests have good stories, but the story doesn't have a good story. Got it. Hashtag Ray hates video games. Anywho, Ray, I guess we'll move on to what do you think the second third is going to be about? So,
like, Razagath is the big bad of Arc 1. What do I think is happening for Arc 2 and Arc 3?
Do you think Razagath actually dies, or...
I feel like Razagath might die at the end of Act 1, but we kill her. It's too late. I've already undid the lock or whatever. And so in Act 2, you're going to have the other primal proto-drakes to deal with.
There's a lot of discussion on who that is, because there was a dragon that existed in Wrath of the Lich King that literally just so you know how snakes
Are we going to bring back Galakron?
yeah. It's like, you know
Galakron
how
would be pretty
snakes
cool.
get bigger because of how much they ate? Yeah, this proto-drake basically ate other proto-drakes and became the size of, Silver, or Stormwind. Just,
Yeah,
big ass
he's a big chunky
thing.
boy. My personal hope, which I don't think will happen, but my personal hope for at some point during this expansion, we get Notherian back. If we're going to be doing bullshit time stuff with bronze dragons and whatnot, I feel like there's an alternate reality where Notherian didn't succumb to the old gods and didn't become Deathwing, and we're gonna get him back, and he can lead the Black Dragonflight because these fucking babies keep fighting over the throne.
People on Reddit.
And the Dracthyr will be so happy because Notherian's back, and it'll just be feel good all around.
Do you think they're going to be happy that Neltharian's
Well,
back?
they don't know any of the atrocities he committed.
This version of Notherian never locked them up because he never succumbed to the old gods.
Do you know who the number one person will be unhappy in that storyline?
Abyssian?
Rathian.
Oh.
Fuck that! I hate Rathian.
Yeah,
Fuck
so
Rathian.
I was gonna say that every once in a while I see it pop up on World of Warcraft Reddit where people have like a pro and con list of who should lead the Black Dragonflight.
Oh, I told you about this.
Yeah, and it's like Sibelian. Sibelian is a actual leader. He actually cares about his people, whereas Rathian has used and disposed of anyone convenient to him, and he's just like, I want to be the aspect because
he's a
spoiled child who has done unspeakable horrible things to further his goals. Yeah.
The entire Legion expansion was his fault.
No, it's established fact.
Gul'dan is still Gul'dan.
But he gave me a cape at one point, so I sided with him.
Yeah.
I did see that post.
It's like, dude, did you see the dagger he gave me? This shit is bomb.
Yeah, it's weird that, so when I was looking up story for Rathian in particular, it's funny that a huge chunk of lore and important story bits to tell you who Rathian is were locked behind a legendary questline for rogues only.
Well, that's because at the time he was not going to be a main character. He came back later because they saw the potential of what they could do with him and his story arc and all that. But at the time, he was going to be
Sibelian all the way, though. But
yeah, between the two of them,
Sibelian, but everyone says it's going to be Abyssian because he's rejecting it so hard that he would.
I'm saying it's Abyssian.
he would be the one to get it, which sucks because if you know anything about Deathwing, he went crazy because he was basically just buried underground, suffering the weight of the world and all.
So the only way I will accept Rathian winning the throne is if the second he gets the aspect powers, he's like, wait a second. Oh God, because he starts feeling all the pain and crushing and everything. He's like, what is this? And then we just lock him underground and ignore him for the next 10,000 years.
PTSD sets in. He gets the memories of his father or mother.
And now we get Deathwing 2.
That's one possibility that honestly people have said, because it's like Rathian has a lot of power at his disposal, even though he's only a 2-year-old. Actually, no, now he's a 7-year-old. But
yeah,
watching him headbutt Razageth out of the air and then land all cool style next to Alexstrasza, and she's like, "Bold of you, little whelpling," and he's just like, "Eh."
He just reminds me of Deadpool, so it's like he gets my vote. He's just an obnoxious asshole, and I love him.
Anyway, Bantam, your hopes and/or predictions for Acts 2 and 3?
So yeah, I will side with Nomad. I do hope that this Proto Drake from ancient times is going to be the true big bad. I don't think I hope, my prediction and hope is that Alexstrasza realizes that what they had that conversation in their midair fight. I hope that they can be forgiven and that we don't actually kill.
Oh, you want to redeem?
It does say in my quest log, kill Razageth, but I'm kind of hoping we don't.
It's like, dude, I need 10 primal chaos, so Razagath, you just gotta die.
Just gonna power friendship her. I'm sorry. I would not like that to happen.
I want. The thing is that the power of friendship is why we're even able to have an expansion where the Horde and the Alliance are kind of just like, all right, fine. Like I want there to be less. Just kill everything that you disagree with. Oh.
Yeah. What about you, Nomad, Mr. Warcraft expert?
So once again, it's the final third. I think is going to be. It's more of my hope, but I have a feeling that that Galakrond is coming back, just because it's part of the Infinite Dragonflight, and they're sort of the ones who like.
I mean, so far he's not ever been in the actual game. We only know he exists through a book and Hearthstone, right?
So once again, if you were playing in Wrath, you would have seen the quests, but you do actually get to go back in time with Chromie to see Galakrond, and he's a massive, massive, big fatty boombatty, but you don't actually massively interact with him. You get the idea that Galakrond is ridiculously powerful. So that would make sense to trump Razagath as to up the power level. And then just from my own thing, I genuinely believe we are going to see that that Sibelian all along corrupted Norsdormu. And that
Oh, you think Sibelian's the bad guy?
Oh, of course. Well, no, the bad guy will eventually it will be Norsdormu. Is that we will see him finally fully corrupt.
Yeah, Murazan, probably.
Yeah, and Murazan will emerge. But
I don't think it'll be Sibelian's fault.
I just want him to because he's an ass.
You think he's an ass? I think Rathian's an ass.
So that's the thing, is that like Ebonhorn can at the same time bring the entire Black Dragonflight all together.
Okay.
By showing Rathian the back of his hand and saying, I got this.
So the thing that made me lose all faith in Rathian as a leader was the quest where you're carting the Black Dragon eggs back to the Ruby Life Pools, and then a proto-drake burns the whole cart and destroys all the eggs, and Rathian's first response is to rub it in Sibelian's face. He didn't give a fuck.
I'm pretty sure Rathian told the proto-drake
He didn't give
eggs.
a fuck about the fact that the supposed eggs were just destroyed and killed. He was just so happy that Sibelian failed. And Sibelian's like, you fool.
He only tagged along in the first place to be like, I'm not letting you get the brownie points for this. I'm coming with you.
He's a petulant child, and I can't stand it. And if you're going to have people... Oh, and the other thing is that when you have the quest to first... talk to the people around Rathian and Sibelian about why they should be the leader. Every single person that you talk to that vouches for Sibelian are Black Dragonflight, actual dragons or Draconid. But when you're talking to Rathian,
and everybody that vouches for it, they've all been either indoctrinated or on the payroll.
They're humans and Horde and Alliance or whatever. They're not dragons. Like they.
Go figure. His henchmen and lackeys are going to vouch for him.
Have you ever heard of the concept of the cult of personality?
Yeah. But point being is that doesn't make you a good leader.
The point being,
I mean,
man, I wonder if Sibelian knew how to completely embarrass Rathian. It's like, watch me spin this little child around his little stupid head, where he thinks he's in control.
Deserves it though.
I mean, it's like, have you ever watched House MD?
Yeah. But the thing is that if Rathian were a good leader, he would recognize that, or at least, shine in the face of literal sabotage. But he doesn't. He falls for it immediately, which is not a good sign.
Man, it's almost like he's learning, at least teaching him a lesson that can only be taught in this manner.
Rathian simp.
Holy shit, mind blown.
You simp for Rathian, we get it.
You simp.
No, I simp for Ebonhorn is what I really want.
That's true, I love him.
It's literally...
Yeah.
It's literally... It's what I've always said to you guys. It's just like Kalis said, great men do not seek power. They have power thrust upon them. I don't want Rathian to lead the Black Dragonflight. I want him to think he can. But it's going to be Ebonhorn who's actually going to be reading it.
Yeah, I still finger crossed for alternate timeline Notharian, just because the only way to bring Galakrond back, I feel like it's going to involve time shenanigans, because he existed like 20,000 years ago before these aspects were even aspects. So it's like, if we're going to go that far back in time to pull him forward, you might as well bring Notharian with you.
Well, because the thing is that his bones exist in the world. If you can fly right now to Wrath of the Lich King, and you can see where his bones exist. So it's like, you don't have to go too far to get remnants of his essence or his being. And the infinite Dragonflight, it's almost in their name. It's like, what do you mean we can resurrect our own Dragonflight? It's like, it wouldn't be too far out of the realm of possibility that just like Razagath was just the appetizer. And it's like, this whole time we had wanted you to like not look at what's happening back in where is it? I hate the continent. The cold place. I hate it.
Northrend?
The Borean Tundra?
Northrend, yeah.
Okay.
Because that's where his bones
I'm taking
are.
away
They're
a
absolutely
point
gigantic.
from your World of Warcraft expertise.
In my opinion, it's there's always the thing. It's like, hey, what was the worst World of Warcraft expansion? I say with no irony, it was Wrath of the Lich King. But that's me. I hated it.
People love that expansion.
Yeah, a lot of people
I never played
did.
it, so I can't vouch. But I just hear people say
you can
Wrath.
play it right
Wrath
now
or
if you
Burning
want to.
Crusade was a.
You can play it right now. It's the newest
I have
classic.
no interest in classic.
Man,
No, I'd rather go in as a level 70.
The only thing I miss from ye olden days was the fact that in dungeons you had to stop to have a picnic. That's the only thing I miss.
Mages were king because they were the table.
But yeah, when I first played pre-Cataclysm for a little bit, when you're in a dungeon, your health and your mana, specifically your mana regen, were like nuked for the entire time you're in the dungeon. So halfway through the dungeon, you had to stop, sit down, eat your food, drink your wine, which gave you back your health and your mana.
Yep.
And I loved the mid-dungeon picnic.
And my final thought on the whole Ebonhorn and Rathian thing, it's I want Sibelian out of the picture so then we can get we'll get God of War, except it's Ebonhorn and Rathian, because that's pretty much how it will exist. Where Kratos is Ebonhorn, it's like the grizzled old veteran teaching the young child known as Rathian how to be.
Yeah, looking at it objectively, I unfortunately think that Sibelian will probably die, and he'll probably die in sacrifice for a really good cause. But he'll actually die defending, something or someone or something.
I don't think he's going to have a hero's death. I think he's actually going to be the one that betrays a little bit of the Black
That's too
Dragonflight.
Predictable. That's
why everyone loves him.
Everyone loves him, but it's too predictable that he may be tainted. That he was far enough away to not hear the old one's whispers, but some of his flight was tainted and he purged it. But the point is that the taint was around.
He's not going to be corrupted by the old gods. He's just going to be corrupted by the infinite Dragonflight, which is a completely different idea. Because the old gods, there are no more old gods on Azeroth. So there is no one to whisper into his ear anymore. It's more of just like, how would you like to rule Azeroth? Join the infinite Dragonflight.
Yeah, probably.
Sabotage your own Dragonflight, the protectors of Azeroth, so that we can now own it.
I don't see Ebonhorn doing that.
No,
Sibelian.
Sibelian.
Oh, okay. I thought.
And that's what will make Ebonhorn go, God damn it, I have to now do this.
No, the thing is, Sibelian went so far out of his way to not follow Deathwing for the same reasons. Why would he suddenly follow a Bronze Dragon for those reasons? I don't think he's going to do that.
Why not?
Okay, with how bad the writing for World of Warcraft has been, maybe he will.
And you can say it's bad writing. I thought there was no
I
bad
say it's
writing.
bad writing because it's out of character.
It's not out of character currently, because here's the thing. Try to find out what Sibelian was before Dragonflight.
He was Deathwing's lieutenant.
And then what was he doing this whole time?
He was in the Outlands, I think.
Just chilling, doing fuck all.
Well, yeah, because he couldn't be on Azeroth
not being the
because of the
defender of
corruption and
Azeroth.
stuff. Well, he couldn't be. If he was there with this Dragonflight, they would have all felt a corruption. He was there to try to keep his Dragonflight safe. Yes, he kind of eschewed the calling of the Black Dragonflight to protect Azeroth, but that was kind of Deathwing's fault. Deathwing already 180'd on that calling, and that's why he had to get put down. It's not like, well, you wiped out Deathwing, I guess I better take up the mantle right now. It's like, no, you kind of wait and see how the world's going to react. Kind of the same reason why the Blue Dragonflight kind of dispersed after the fall of Malagos.
And that was just in his own corruption. Power corrupts absolutely.
I still like Malagos. Now, hashtag he did nothing wrong.
Eh.
He's like, mortals are going to ruin the world with magic. He's like, he's not wrong.
So I'm going to do it for them.
Better take away magic from the mortals because they don't know how to handle it. It's like, yeah, I agree completely. I understand because this is a video game, you can't take that away. You suddenly have no magic classes. Like, I get that. But, like, again, from a story perspective, I agree with Malagos. Like, the humans did not deserve to have the level of magic that they currently have in universe.
Or the bronze Dragonflight went, "You're a fucking moron and you can't see 2 feet in front of you."
I mean, if you can literally see all of time, you can't really blame other people for not seeing all of time.
They had their council. They had the council the entire time. Except Malagos went, "No, you're wrong." It's just like...
Also, if you can see all of time, you can see the 10,000 different futures. How do you know which one we're going to go down? So maybe you're just being a little too paranoid.
I mean, then it's back on Malagos. It's like, hey, do you think you acted a bit harshly? Just a bit?
Again, I think that in World the humans don't deserve the level of magic they have. But that's just my opinion and how... Again, this is my book-loving bleeding in. I like books where in the universe the dragons tend to have all the magic and the humans have very little because I enjoy that power disparity between them because that's where dragons deserve to be. That's my personal look on dragons.
No, it's because you read D&D first.
Hold on. Technically, the first dragon book I read would have been Dragonlance, which is D&D adjacent.
Yes,
so I guess maybe.
Very much so.
I don't know, whatever. We're not going to really get into that. 2 hours, 15 minutes. Let's wrap this up again. Thank you for joining us, listeners, and thank you for helping us out, Nomad.
Hey, I'm here for you.
Yep. Next week we're going to be doing another episode on Warcraft. Bantam and I can do a wiki dive and just look up all the lore of all the past stuff, and we can just talk about the story of the world and setting as a whole. Not so much Dragonflight itself.
You can reach us. Yeah, you can reach us on email at officialwadpod@gmail.com. Our Twitter is also officialwadpod on Twitter.
No, I'm pretty sure they're not the same thing. I remember them being different. Isn't our email like wadpodcast mail?
Wadpodcast mail. I just looked it up, yeah. I got one of them confused. And if you'd like to support us, we do have a Patreon at World of Dragons Podcast.
We do also have a Discord. The link for Discord is usually very weird, so that's just going to be in the show notes / on the description of the episode. But come, let us know what you think. Until next time, see you guys later.
See you later.
# Ray hates games.
# Malagos did nothing wrong.
# good writing.